Chapter 561 Timely. Kick-off Gudodama Truth-Seeking Ball. Guy, you really. Kakashi drove the Sharingan and watched Might Guy's state carefully. A move of that level can no longer be called a human move. Even if Kakashi risked his own life, he would never reach the heights. You really become what my father said, far superior to me. Guy. Boom. Haven't made a move yet. Night Guy's chakra burst out the surrounding air, and the bloody Yuhi-colored steam dispersed, which was shocking. Madara blinked and waved the Six Paths wand in her hand, urging the power of the Six Paths in her body to slowly overflow, but she still felt countless pressures. Hee, saw, let me see, the last dead gate of the legendary The Eight Inner Gates. Boom. As if a huge building suddenly collapsed, Madara's heart seemed to be accompanied by Guy's actions, as if something collapsed. The heaviness of the giant falling down also immediately weighed on his heart. Madara realized when Guy was almost in front of him. Is it the pressure? I was actually overwhelmed by the momentum. It's too late to defend, the speed and power of this move simply surpasses most S-rank ninjutsu. What's more, it's just a gymnastics. Terrible. Ooh. That Yuhi color fluttered up neatly, forming the appearance of a giant dragon. Phew. A kick came, and the wind howled. At this moment, Madara seemed to recall her whole body in her mind, and this move was absolutely impossible to avoid. If you resist hard, you will only die worse, you can only. Madara forcibly used chakra to attack below herself, making a violent explosion. Bang. What? He actually attacked his feet. In the end, Kakashi frowned slightly. He wanted to use Kamui's help to remove the obstacle, but unexpectedly Guy's speed didn't need his help at all, and Madara didn't choose to attack at all. I saw the wind from the explosion, whistling away. Guy kicked it, and the giant dragon swooped in, full of momentum. Night Guy. Madara's attack and Guy's attack were released at the same time, but Madara was still kicked in the back by a stubborn kick, and the fierce dragon bit it, which was earth-shattering. Boom, boom. Thick smoke billowed, and the battlefield became a mess. The thick smoke and dust after the war could not be dissipated for nearly a minute. In the end, how is it? Tenten swallowed. She was very worried, and between her legs, Neji was sleeping soundly. Kakashi only dared to reopen Sharingan to observe the situation after a minute after being shocked, and when he saw it, he was shocked. I saw that Six Paths Madara's body has been kicked in half. But still alive. For Guy who used Yi Guy, his body was almost scorched at this time, and his whole body was like used coal, faintly flickering with fire. Alive, to survive that kind of attack. While shocked, Kakashi tried his best to analyze it. It seems that at that time, Madara made an immediate decision when Wise was about to hit this attack. That is to use his own attacks to generate impact under his feet. Attack yourself first, because the speed at which the spell is launched is much faster than the speed at which you move, so Madara uses the spell to allow herself to move smoothly. After a brief movement, Madara's body leaned over and veered away from where Guy was supposed to be. That kind of speed and strength, it is absolutely impossible for Guy to change direction and position in the middle, he can only find the right opportunity and hit it once. But Madara's response was very clever, making Guy kick in the wrong position, keeping the position of the head and the heart, and the other half of the body that hit the attack was turned into a slag by Guy's one move, and disappeared. Madara sat embarrassedly among the dilapidated ruins, showing a hideous smile. Funny, this guy almost killed me. He grinned and widened his wicked eyes. Although you have already opened the door of death, you are already a candle in the wind of death. But Madara's body at this time started to grow. What is that? Little Lee clenched his fists, still immersed in the resentment that his teacher's last blow failed to kill him. It's not like the cells of Hokage in the first generation, but the power of yin and yang of Six Paths. It's really monster-level power. Kakashi sighed. The other party is simply not a creature of the same level as his side. But you please me, so to reward you, I'll send you on the road myself. Madara showed a smug smile and stretched out her hand, only to see the black Gudodama truth-seeking ball rushing towards Guy immediately. I don't know if it was because of the night Guy's attack. Madara's movements were much slower, and the speed of Gudodama truth-seeking ball was not as fast as before. The naked eye can also completely catch up. Mr. Guy, Little Lee bit Kiba and wanted to go up to resist. But Kakashi stopped him. If you touch that Gudodama truth-seeking ball, you're dead. But Little Lee hesitated. Now in the end, Guy who used the 8 inner gates is also certain to die. Kakashi, on the other hand, widened his eyes and used Kamui to transfer Gudodama truth-seeking ball. Afterwards, he breathed a sigh of relief and said, I finally caught up. This distance, Kamui can use it. It's just that the voice just fell, and over there, Madara's voice sounded again. Hee, you guys look like you have nice eyes too. But what about the next one? Madara's ability has recovered a lot, and this time the speed has returned to normal. Kakashi's Kamui is not so resilient, because it is not related to the Uchiha clan. The use of Sharingan for chakra is huge and there is still a long period of inflexibility. Not to mention such a high-speed movement, even if it can be captured, there is no way to perform the operation. Although Guy is sure to die, everyone still has a heart for Guy. Die, hee. Madara showed a smug smile, and from this moment, he felt that his purest blood from the Sengoku era was inspired. However, a figure came quickly. It's just like yellow flash. Bang! Naruto kicked Gudodama truth-seeking ball away. Kicked away. Madara was startled, very stunned. I saw that Gudodama truth-seeking ball was not only kicked away by Naruto, but also drove towards Madara at a high speed, and Madara had to avoid it. Bang! Gudodama truth-seeking ball hits the ground with an explosion. Teacher Nangmei. Naruto looked at Guy who had been scorched lying on the ground, and the calmness in his eyes revealed a little anger. He stepped forward, crouched down, and pressed his hand on Guy's heart. Then, it seems that something has quietly changed. PFF'd. Use Rinnegan to clearly see that the dead door of Guy's heart, which was about to eliminate the last bit of primitive chakra, burned again. This guy, what did he do? Why is someone who was already dead actually able to control the influence of the death door? For Madara, this is simply a blind spot of knowledge. And Madara looked at Naruto again, his eyes were cross eyes. And the chakra contained in the body is also different from the past. This guy seems to be different from before. Naruto, what happened to you? Chapter 562 6 Paths. The Power of Yin and Yang. Hey, one after the other, what an annoying guy. It's more fun fighting Hashirama. Madara's expression of disappointment with these people was almost like the Child King was throwing a tantrum. But a child is a child after all, and if his thinking is too naive, he will be looked down upon by everyone. No matter how strong you are, if you go the wrong way, you are still guilty. Hashirama, you should feel very sad to see these guys without dignity. Hee. Madara said here, talking to herself again. Forget it, now that I look at it, it doesn't matter. It's better to hurry up and get back my left eye. It's time for the world to become one with me. Madara's mouth twitched, and she was full of middle school style. Naruto. There, Tenten looked at Naruto's back and felt an unusual chakra. But she's not a perceptive ninja, so I can't say anything has changed. Naruto, you. Knowing what Kakashi was going to ask, Naruto turned his head and smiled and said, Don't worry, Dad gave me the other half of his body, Kyuubi, 9 tails. Pulled away and died, and now I feel like I can do a lot of things. He twitched the corner of his mouth and looked at the little Lee who was staring blankly at him. Boy Nangmei, come and take Teacher Nangmei away, it's too dangerous here. Naruto. Little Lee was still a little overwhelmed, and there were tears in the corners of his eyes, and he did not come out of the mood of losing his teacher. Naruto smiled, showing a sunny and kind-hearted look, and said, "Don't worry, Teacher Nongmei will not die. I have helped him to keep the last acupoint of death. Now he only has some trauma. Let Sakura later. Give him a good treatment." So it is. Little Lee left the stage immediately, picked up Guy who was completely black, and left quickly. Naruto, be careful. Next, leave the battlefield to me. At this time, on the other side, Sasuke also woke up. Sasuke, then, what are you going to do? Orochimaru looked at Sasuke with a curious expression. And Karen over there was also faintly dull, and from Sasuke, he felt a power similar to Neji. Similar to the powers that Neji once showed that were more advanced than ordinary chakras, but they were different, and Karen didn't know what they were. Even if the perception is clear, but because the world is not widely seen, it is meaningless. It feels a little different from before. Sasuke. Suzuki narrowed his eyes, hid behind Orochimaru, and secretly looked at Sasuke with an indifferent face. The sound of footsteps, Sasuke turned around and walked in one direction. The priority now is to deal with Madara. As for the rest, let's talk about it. Sasuke's indifferent voice made Orochimaru stunned. He lowered his head and murmured inwardly, "Sasuke, your wind has regained its strength." Tilda. The black stick was pulled out and cut off with one hand. This guy can actually touch this black stick. Second-generation Hokage Tobirama frowned slightly and saw Sasuke indifferently rescue him. Tobirama finally regained his freedom of movement and looked at Sasuke. Sasuke asked indifferently, "Second generation, can you transfer now?" Yes. But with the current chakra and distance, at most one person can be transferred with me. It's okay, it's enough for me to go alone. Sasuke said, his eyes narrowed slightly. At this time, Tobirama carefully saw that Sasuke's left eye, the ripple state, is Rinnegan. Your eyes, Rinnegan? Tobirama asked suspiciously. Sasuke didn't answer, only said, "Stop talking nonsense, it's almost time to go." Sasuke and Tobirama left. Karen said eagerly, "Quick. We'll go to support too. Neji is over there too." Neji's chakra is barely perceptible now. Orochimaru laughed and said, "But we don't have sage art. Maybe Shigego can give it a try. Our past words are meaningless." "I can." Kabuto pushed his eyes and said, "Master Neji is the one who got me out of my confusion, and I will follow him to the death. My sage art should be able to come in handy. In addition, the abilities of the few of you are also very rare. Go over together, it should come in handy." Quote. However, we are all ordinary people. Unlike Hokage in all dynasties, chakra is limited. We have consumed too much strength in this battle. As Orochimaru said, a figure suddenly jumped up. "I haven't participated in this war yet." "You." Seeing that figure, Kabuto and Orochimaru were stunned. "I saw that the visitor was their former subordinate, Kagaya Kimimaro of the Kagaya family." Kimimaro. Kabuto was also taken aback. He heard that Kimimaro had been subservient to Neji's hands and had been acting secretly, but he didn't expect to show up in this battle, but now he is here. Kimimaro, long time no see." Orochimaru looked at the body that he once admired, and was very satisfied and nostalgic. "Hey, Kimimaro, didn't Neji arrange for you to guard important places in the Hyuga clan? Why did you leave without authorization?" Karen asked with a frown. Kimimaro's expression was indifferent. Originally, the purpose of guarding it was to prevent Orochimaru and his subordinates, but through Shueiyu's investigation, now all Orochimaru's strongholds and information have been mastered, and there is no danger for the time being. Everyone was startled and looked at Shueiyu. "Okay Shueiyu, when did you do it?" "I can't help it. If I don't do it, Neji will kill me. Afterwards, Kimimaro looked at Orochimaru again and said, Orochimaru, even if you don't want to help Neji-sama, but all the people here will not go with you. Suzuki and Karen were originally Neji-sama's subordinates, and Kabuto is now. Quote. Kimimaro looked at Shigego, and Shigego widened his eyes dumbfounded. Kimimaro. Heavy knee. The two looked at each other and smiled, like old friends for many years. This time, the battle lines are directly unified, and there is no need to explain too much. Orochimaru was also forced to be helpless and joined the line to support Neji Tilda. It's just you, are you going to beat me? Ha ha. Madara looked at Naruto in front of her and smiled lightly. Then, the art of Hiraishin comes. No, it's not me, it's us. Naruto chuckled lightly, and the surroundings immediately seemed to be ablaze with golden fire. Next to him, Sasuke has appeared, and Rinnegan in his left eye is very eye-catching. Sasuke, and the second generation. Kakashi blinked and stared at the two who had just appeared in surprise. Madara over there noticed something and was surprised. Sasuke's left eye, Rinnegan. He looked at the two and stood together, just like the Hagoromo Hamura brothers who sealed Kagaya standing together. Madara spoke slowly and asked, one has the power of Yang that can restrain the flow of life in the door of death, and the other has the power of Yin who has opened the Rinnegan. This is the power of 6 paths. And I the same. Madara raised her head proudly, as if at this moment he was the embodiment of the 6 paths fairy. Hee, this guy calls himself a 6 paths immortal, how funny. You say so, Sasuke. Ah, but he is indeed an old man like the 6 paths sage. The pairing of the two was full of sarcasm. Chapter 563 Vulcan. Mind training. What kind of tacit understanding between these two people seems to have suddenly formed? Madara frowned slightly. What he didn't know was that he hadn't seen the 6 paths fairy. The two people in front of him had already seen the existence of the 6 paths immortal. Moreover, both of them are very tacit understanding of what the other knows and thinks in their hearts. This is the feeling that Madara, who is alone, cannot and has never experienced. But Madara didn't realize it. He didn't know how stupid and funny he was calling himself 6 paths immortal, in the eyes of Naruto and Sasuke at the moment. Even if you have the power of yin and yang, but I have the power of both sides. I am the second 6 paths immortal, and you are just wasting your efforts in front of me. Madara looked at the two of them proudly, not knowing that they were already exchanging tactics. Sasuke, do you feel it? There are invisible enemies around that guy. Ah, is it? I can see clearly. 4. Neji and this kind of guy have dragged on for so long. There's Teacher Nangmei, we must avenge them. I feign attack, you support me. Pat ta ta ta, Sasuke has already stepped forward at a rapid pace. Madara frowned slightly and jumped up. Sasuke also raised his head, narrowed his eyes, and rose quickly. Madara saw Sasuke flying, and quickly hand seal. Senpo, Sage Art Fire Dance Dragon. Boom. Intense flames circled in the air, taking the shape of a dragon and bending away. Sasuke used Kaiden's fire style vision to obstruct his vision, quickly pulled away his huge shuriken hidden in the scroll, and threw it out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The shuriken headed towards Madara. Madara smiled contemptuously. To attack me with shuriken, you really underestimate me. However, Sasuke's mouth twitched and his eyes were firm. Clap. Seeing that Madara avoided the shuriken very easily, the shuriken split into two, and then took the initiative to break apart. Sasuke pulled his hands, and there were two very thin steel wires connecting the shuriken. With the power of the steel wire, Sasuke pulled up and avoided the swept fire dragon. Kaiden, Fire Style, Dragon Flame Jutsu. Hand seal again, the cage fire lingered around the steel wire, and quickly flew towards Madara. This guy, using Kaiden, Fire Style, against Kaiden, Fire Style. How naive, knowing it won't work for me. Madara is using Rinnegan to absorb incoming Dragon Flame Jutsu. On the other side, Naruto's Rasen Shuriken was attacking quickly. Madara saw that he couldn't dodge, so he bit Kiba. Limbo. Boom. Madara replaced herself with the shadow, and she was replaced by the shadow. Sasuke, this guy and shadow have switched positions. Naruto reminded. Sasuke nodded. Ah, I know, continue to attack this shadow. I saw Sasuke only glanced at Madara who had moved to the bottom, his right eye was round, and Mangekyo Sharingan was spinning. Amaterasu. Boom. Amaterasu and Naruto's Rasen Shuriken gather together, and with the blessing of Futon, wind-style Amaterasu's black flame burns even more vigorously. But Madara below is very puzzled. I know that the attack is shadow clone, why? But the next moment, his eyes widened. Ah! Boom! The churning flames almost destroyed him in an instant. Madara came back to her senses, only to find that she had appeared on the shadow just now, and her shadow and herself had switched positions again. What's the matter? Why am I here? Zzzz. PFF'd. The moment Chidori lightning cutter passes through Madara's body, Madara performs the one and only and escapes here. Instead, a shadow forcibly returned to Madara's body, and Madara's body instantly became covered in bruises. After the two landed, Naruto immediately said, Sasuke, this guy's clone is limited, and some of the injuries suffered by the clone will be transferred to the main body. Ah, I can see clearly. Sasuke said, touched his left eye with his hand, and he suddenly realized in his heart, so it is, the power of this left eye. Neji, who fell into Tenten's arms, was sleeping soundly. Neji who was meditating in front of him, and yawned. Hey, my host, Hyuga Neji, why don't you go and fight Madara? Are you really not afraid of losing the war? Don't worry, I'll go out when I completely master the realm you're in. Now Naruto and Sasuke have just obtained the power of yin and yang, so they can last for a long time. This is my hard-earned opportunity to rest, and who am I right now? Hey. Seeing Neji's smirk, Vulcan sighed and frowned helplessly. Hey, by the way, Vulcan, what's the name of the practice you're talking about, heart? Cultivation of the heart. Can you still remember such a simple name? Oh yes. As long as you finish practicing this mental method, you can get a big boost in strength, right? Vulcan nodded and explained casually, yes, according to your current strength, this is the case. You not only have the consciousness of the Godhead, but also have the body of the Vulcan in the extremely high realm of returning to the original. Said that you were invincible. It is because of insufficient spiritual practice that you were injured. No, I think it's because of the restraining power in my body. Ah, that's one of the reasons anyway. But divine power is a power that surpasses those of the Otsutsuki clan. This is something you need to keep in mind. When Vulcan spoke, the look of the little Tsunere revealed from time to time proudly in his eyes. Neji doesn't have time to take care of this, and now he just wants to try this training method that the Six Paths Immortal threw to him. It's just, where did you get the cultivation method? You can't figure it out by yourself, right? You can suddenly improve so fast, I really don't believe it. Vulcan pouted, distrusting Neji. Neji's mouth twitched. This is the power handed down by the Six Paths Immortals. And I need to temper my heart right now. As long as I suddenly control my mind, the power of prohibition will probably be suppressed by me, right? You know what, the enemy I have to face is far more powerful than you think. Vulcan shrugged and murmured, you might as well give me your body and liberate the power of my peak period. Six Paths Madara in front of me is not my opponent at all. Neji chuckled and said, Six Paths Madara. You think too much, this is just the enemy in front of you. Compared with Six Paths Madara, there will still be stronger enemies in the future. Vulcan said again, but then again, why do you want to practice the cultivation method taught to you by the Six Paths Immortal? The ninja sect of that era was indeed strong, but it is not suitable for this era. And you are clearly already in the new territory. The identity of the Lord God, Cultivate your own divine power well. Wouldn't it be fun to call the wind and call the rain to the gods in the future? Quote. What I'm cultivating now is the divine power method. Divine power. Why would the Six Paths Sage? I told you that you don't understand. This is the treasure left by Otsutsuki Hamura in a previous life. From crossing into this world, apart from what I got from the system, I didn't get any good things in this ninja world. I'm really lucky now, and I can't stop it. Identity is still a special liking. Chapter 564 Tomo. Become a person Jinchuiki, Column Force. By the way, Vulcan, do you really know how to cultivate divine power? Of course, I am a god myself. If I don't practice divine power, do I still practice the low-level chakra in your ninja world? Vulcan looked down on chakra. Neji was outside just now, experiencing the level battle of Six Paths Madara, but Vulcan actually underestimated chakra. But after all, Neji can see the higher order world now, so I can agree with this statement. It's just that he still doesn't believe that if the gods can be as powerful as Vulcan, how could such an existence be played by the Uzumaki clan? Look, your distracting thoughts are coming again. You are still questioning the existence of our gods in your heart. Neji can be described as beautiful outside, but in this Vulcan realm, he immediately became a scum in the eyes of Vulcan. It's not about strength, because in order to make Vulcan promise to help him train his divine power, he can improve his spiritual consciousness, that is, the realm of Godhead consciousness as soon as possible, so that he may be able to achieve the improvement of his breakthrough state. This is also a last resort. Now it seems that Pushi's restraining power is too underestimated, and he must find a way to solve it. Even if you can use a single whole card to achieve a theoretically undefeated situation, it is far from being able to achieve the uninhabited situation that you envisioned. This is only to Six Paths Madara. If there is any unexpected situation, such as the existence of Pushi, he may suffer a loss. Neji came up with this trick. Since he can't solve the status quo, his ability must be too weak. Hurry up to improve his strength and see if he can make a breakthrough. Maybe he is too weak. Once you become stronger and pass a certain critical point, maybe it will come to light. This is the stage that many protagonists of martial arts novels must go through when practicing martial arts. Neji also intends to try hard and give it a try. And the most convenient thing about this Vulcan realm is that 1 second outside, 1 minute can be spent inside. That is to say, in the 3 hours from entering to now practicing, only 3 minutes have passed outside, and I have already gotten better and better for this training. This greatly reduces the cost of training and improves efficiency. Our gods, it was just because of the civil war. I'm not bragging to you. If the power of the gods can be united, no power in this world can rival the gods. Don't let your mind wander. Listen to me carefully. I can perceive all the distracting thoughts in your mind now. Instead of letting you think about those messy things, it's better to follow me and learn about the history of our gods. Neji knew that the tirade was coming again, but he didn't think too much about it. Only immediately entered another spiritual realm. That is, the spiritual world in the spiritual world. The existence here should not even be aware of Vulcan, because this is the dimension of communication with the system. From the perspective of the spiritual world, Neji is only caught in a world of real spiritual purity, the so-called restraint of the 5 senses and the purity of the 6 senses. Seeing Neji's untroubled appearance, Vulcan nodded erratically. This kid is really a genius. Can you maintain such a high level of concentration even at this time? However, at this time. System. Check the personal properties panel. Host, Hyuga Neji. Age, 18. Actual combat proficiency, 399.5 W. Talent, Steal and Devour, Soul Orb, Fire Soul Orb. Identity, Lord of the New Territories, God of Destiny and Destiny. Strength, Semi-Holy, Quasi-Holy, Saint, Heavenly Path. Ability. 7 Chakra Attributes Max, Back to Basics. Pure Eyes. Tensegan, 7.099%, used Byakugan to increase slowly in actual combat. Swordsmanship ability is superb. Sage mode max back to basics. Demonic illusion ability max back to basics. Divine power integrates and penetrates. Physique, complete sage body. Godhead consciousness. Body of Vulcan max returns to basics. Weapons, Thunder God's sword with Spirit Evil God, Blood Killing God, Wine Cut Sword, 10-Fist Sword, 8-Foot Mirror, 8-Foot Chongtomo. Realm, Chakra Spirit Realm, Vulcan Possession. Special items, 1 to Kyubi, 9 Tails, Chakra, 6 Paths Immortal Yin-Yang Power, Shisui I, Hashirama Cell. Sure enough, it's still a level of combat power. Neji couldn't help being a little disappointed. After being promoted to half-saint, he never felt that he had the strength of half-saint. System, how much do I need to advance from a semi-sage to a quasi-sage? How far am I? Back to the host, this system does not have this function. 10,000 grass and mud horses ran through Neji's heart. I have never been so silent in my life. So, system, can you show me a clear path? How can I improve my strength now? Neji rubbed his chin. Even if he said the most cowardly words, he had to use the hardest tone. The system has no emotions and will only answer the host's questions honestly. For Neji, it is still much better than the arrogant guy from Vulcan. Go back to the host. The fastest ways to improve your strength are listed in order. 1. Raise the consciousness of Godhead to the realm of integration. 2. Raise the power of divine power to the realm of perfection. 3. Integrate Tomo and the power of the tail beast. Enter your own chakra. I can still understand these 1 and 2. After all, these 2 abilities are particularly important for exploring the realm of the power of gods, and they also fit my current Vulcan body. But what does the third point mean? Bakugang Tomo is a relic that predates the 6 Paths Immortals. In that war, the artifacts also absorbed enough chakra. All the artifacts in the world are more in line with the original chakra because of the changes in the world. The chakra in people's body is an accident caused by the genetic mutation of the body due to the influence of the war, and it is not the source of the real ancestor of the chakra. The tailed beast chakra is the original chakra divided into 9 by the 6 Paths Immortal. The original source is the collection of the residual chakra collected in the war. The artifact has a special response to the original chakra. And the role of Tomo Bakugang lies in this. The main attack of the 10-Fist Sword, the master of the mirror defense, Tomo, is to strengthen the soul and body energy of the holder. Quote. Enhanced. 8-footed Joan Tomo can integrate the chakra of the tailed beast, and the divine power inside is equivalent to a powerful sealing technique. In other words, you who are extremely chakra of the 9-tailed beast, 8-footed Tomo can compress it to there is a steady stream of chakras for you to use. And because the chakras stored in the system do not need to be used by fairy beasts. Therefore, you will become a human Jinchuriki column force. But because there are no fairy beasts, or tailed beasts in the body, to store chakra. Therefore, this sealing warlock will also be flawed. He can't let the host improve most of the strength. Otherwise, it will bring more difficulties to the host. Big improvement. Quote. What is the bigger improvement? Is it a direct upgrade to the quasi-saint? Neji suddenly raised his spirits and asked curiously. System only said leisurely, of course. Impossible. The road to sanctification is extremely difficult. Please don't take chances, host. However, becoming a human Jinchuriki column force, as long as the host can control the chakra well, and does not sway from side to side because of the huge amount of chakra, it will become a powerful weapon. Let the host be strong enough to control the power of his own source, and exert his own power. The level of a semi-sage can be achieved. Quote. Hearing this, Neji gave a little thought. Chapter 565 Torment. The road to becoming a god. The spiritual realm is different from the fierce battlefield outside. It is quiet and peaceful, as if the so-called war will never happen. However, a Vulcan trapped here is already tired of this kind of peace. But after all, how many eternal? No, dozens of eternal. That war or the past era, I don't know how many years have passed, the battles of the gods in the old era are still vivid in my mind. The pain of that kind of battle, what Vulcan brings is the unforgettable shadow. What Pain said is true from a certain point of view. Whether it is the strong or the weak, only when they have experienced real pain can they hope for peace. This is an inevitable and accidental result. Drip, tilde. A drop of water fell, as if something had blossomed. Neji opened his eyes suddenly. How's it going? Vulcan asked with immediate concern. Neji opened his eyes and looked at Vulcan. How to improve the consciousness of Godhead. This. Vulcan hesitated for a moment, then began to explain to Neji. As a god, Vulcan knows exactly how to cultivate into a god. After all, where did the gods come from in this world? Gods also evolved from the original vitality, and even some gods were originally mortals. However, most of them are fallen gods and higher-level life forces from more distant worlds, and some are evolved from magical species that once existed on this planet, and can eventually control spiritual power and evolve into gods. The road to becoming a god is not simple, and it is so complicated that it is not something you can achieve by becoming stronger. Now Neji's combat power is close to the bottom level of a god, but it is still very difficult to become a god. First of all, it is very difficult to temper the body of the gods. Want to practice strong mental strength. In order to reach the point where the body like Vulcan has rotted and the spirit remains forever in the world, it must be tempered and stimulated over 100 million times. And the premise of having these is to have a body that can't be beaten at all, that is, the body of a god. And Neji obtained the body of Vulcan through the system, so in the exhausted battles again and again, Neji's body was not burdened to the point of collapse. But that's exactly the reason. Your mental power can't support your powerful Vulcan body, Jinchuriki column. It's normal to be overdrawn often. Is that so? I always thought that Ura's restraining power was working. Don't worry, although I don't know why you can directly temper the body of the Vulcan into the most top-level existence in a period of time, this proves that you are really a genius. Since ancient times, no god has done it. Your level, that's why I recognize you. The improvement of Godhead is very different from that of the body, but the basic principle is the same. That is, through different tempering and blows. Stimulation, to put it simply, is the same as training your body normally. Or, the stimulation should be a little bigger. Oh, yes, you should know. The conditions for the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan to open their eyes. When Vulcan said this, Neji suddenly understood something. The tempering of the spirit is to make you suffer more painful things than you. It is a spiritual realm that is more unbearable than ordinary people. I can use the ghost fire to help you experience that pain. Do you really want to try it? If you do, you may fall into reincarnation and never be able to escape. The corner of Vulcan's mouth twitched, with a sinister smile. Hyuga Neji, I have to remind you here. If you fail, I will take your body for myself. Vulcan's eyes met the indifferent Neji seriously. Originally, I didn't mean this, but your Vulcan body is a really good opportunity for me. With a complete Vulcan body, I can restore the glory of the past. But now I have the consciousness of Godhead I can't resist you. But once your mental power collapses because of this trial, I will take the opportunity to occupy your body and complete the real resurrection. No, for our gods, it should be said to be reappearance, right? The gods are immortal, no matter what the circumstances. Hearing this, Neji's eyes actually flashed. He waved in his mind for a long time, and Vulcan also felt a little strange. What? Are you afraid? Ha ha. No, I mean. Neji laughed stupidly and said, gods are immortal. So if you say that, I'm already immortal, right? This. Vulcan was stunned. Neji in front of him didn't take the test in front of him as a difficulty at all. He excitedly said to himself, according to this, even if I fail this trial, I still have a chance, right? As for my body, use it if you want. Anyway, as a god, my strength is forever. But thank you for reminding me. If this is the case, I have completely understood what to do next. Neji can be considered to have solved a big doubt in his heart. He originally took a lot of insurance to protect Neji himself, but now that the authenticity of this matter has been ensured, Neji can rest assured and boldly risk it. No matter how painful and tortured his body is due to the power of prohibition, as long as his spiritual power is completed and he is strong enough, he will be immortal and will return one day. Then, let's start. But I don't think I will fail. After all, as a god now, God will not fail easily. Seeing Neji's determined face, Vulcan was too surprised to speak. Too similar, the main gods of the old times. That kind of spirit of righteousness has been passed down. Then let's begin. Vulcan slowly exhaled, his expression serious. Boom. The faint blue flames slowly appeared around, thumping up. Neji looked around, a little surprised. Vulcan explained, this ghost fire looks different from ordinary ghost fire. Although it also comes from hell, it is the same color as pure fire. This is the soul that will go through hell before going to the pure land to cleanse and reincarnate. The ghost fire of suffering is also a symbol of suffering. The gods survived the torment of the ghost fire, but they did not cleanse the soul and reincarnate, but lived forever in the world. Quote. In itself, legend has it that the first god was born from hell. Neji listened to Vulcan's explanation and nodded leisurely. If that's the case, let's step up. Neji opened his eyes and took a breath. Ziz. Boom. Good. Vulcan doesn't care about the 3721, but he also wants to see, where is the limit of the spirit of this son of mankind? Boom. I don't know how many times of tempering and torture, but Neji still stands still. Vulcan frowned slightly, almost exhausting all his energy. Hoa hoa ho. Ghost fire does not grow by fire, but by seriousness. The dark blue of the flame has gradually turned into a bright white blue, and the extent of the flame can be imagined. But Neji, who was in the center of the ghost fire, was still indifferent without any distractions. Even Vulcan had an indescribable illusion. This guy, what kind of existence is it? Mental power can be empty to such an extent. Chapter 566 Divine Power. God Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth. For Vulcan, this is already doing his best. I thought that even if Neji survived this catastrophe, it should have gone through a very painful process. But Neji seemed far more powerful than he thought. To endure mental torture, you must learn to empty your mind, which is called meditation. When meditating, it is necessary to keep the mind empty, to put it bluntly, that is, when thinking, but without any content. When you are alive, when you are awake, you must be free from any delusions. The so-called no color, no desire, no greed and no desire, this is the realm that a god should have at least. When he incarnates as a mortal, he can become an existence of any shape, and when he returns to his original appearance, he must become a just and merciful god. Is the real god. But Neji does it all with ease. And what Vulcan didn't know at this time was. Neji sighed, at this time he was at the level of communication with the system. System, do you think the chicken or the egg came first? Neji pursed his lips and seemed to be really trying to think about it. Go back to the host, I don't know. Neji didn't know if it was an illusion, but he felt that this ruthless system couldn't help himself at the moment. He smiled and said, hey, don't blame me. The Vulcan said that the road to becoming a god was so terrifying, shouldn't I have to do this? You, as a system, don't help me become stronger. It's not you. Is it dereliction of duty? As your host, I actually think of a way to become stronger. Do you think you are moved or not, Tilda? System, I dare not move, I can't move. Besides, anyway, your purpose as a system is to make me stronger. This is the meaning of your existence, and now your ability is so in line with the realm of no distractions that Vulcan said. I will use it. Quote. Congratulations to the host, Zuid and Max, for entering the realm of returning to nature. Ah, you really are a stubborn system, Tilda. Neji lay on his back, surrounded by darkness, not knowing what level he was on. But the forbearance skills that Vulcan said, I am afraid that no mortal in this world can do it. To think soberly without disturbing any thoughts, is this still a living thing? But after all, Neji himself is a first-order mortal, and he doesn't want to be a god, but just pursues the so-called power. These powers are only to quell the war, or to protect the important people around them. As a traveler, Neji also has important bonds in this world. Ino, Tenten, Little Lee, Karen, Suzuki, and even Sasuke and Naruto are all people of the same age as Neji and have experienced many unforgettable things together. If this world is destroyed, they will cease to exist, right? As a god I really have an obligation Neji said indifferently, showing a gratified smile. Then, he fell into a deep sleep. Senpo, Sage Art Senpo. Whoa whoa. I saw white light shrouded in pitch-black lightning, attacking everyone. Naruto frowned slightly, and quickly threw out his black stick to block the lightning. Blocked. Madara frowned. She was using the Senpo, Sage Art of the power of 6 paths, and Naruto actually possessed the same power. The next moment, he was startled. Front of him, there should have been the shadow of Limbo, but now it has been replaced by Sasuke. That's right, displacement, not movement. It happened all of a sudden and Madara couldn't react. Ziz. The black Chidori penetrated Madara's chest and Madara clenched Kiba. Sasuke was stunned, realizing that Madara in front of him had been replaced with his clone again. Madara covered her heart with her hand, and after a while, the wound slowly healed. What happened when they were about to die? The pressure on him was growing. Fighting these two guys is a huge heaviness that has never been seen before. With the power of 6 paths of the same level, the strength can be said to be on the same level. And, I only have 1 Rinnegan, so it looks like I'm really likely to lose. This is... Naruto and Sasuke felt a surge of chakra, and Naruto became more sensitive, saying, Sasuke, be careful. Something is coming. Over there. Sasuke's Rinnegan saw more accurately, and saw a wiggle in space, and Obito appeared beside Madara. But the current Obito, with his eyes closed, is unconscious. Black Zetsu who had already taken over Obito's body who was controlling him. Black Zetsu, what happened to Obito? Kakashi asked seriously. With a low and hoarse voice, Black Zetsu said, This guy, because of his guilt towards Minato, his consciousness is getting weaker and weaker, and his heart is only begging for forgiveness, so I have a chance. After all, this task is impossible. Failed. After working hard for so long, I finally got to today. Black Zetsu's words are meaningful. This guy's heart is begging for me like a child right now. Really, do you really feel so guilty about that person named Rin? Oh, there seems to be one more now. There are 2 people who feel sorry in the bottom of my heart right now, it's you, Hatake Kakashi. Black Zetsu's words made Kakashi's mood mixed and extremely heavy. Obito, he muttered, not knowing how to deal with the guilt. And over there, Naruto came to Kakashi's side. Kakashi-sensei, you protect Nangmei-sensei and Neji, just leave it to me and Neji here. Naruto, Obito I know. Naruto's expression was heavy and his words were straightforward. Obito is just being used by bad guys. That guy Obito is not a bad guy, I know. At this time, Sasuke over there came quickly, and Madara immediately stepped back. Sasuke widened his eyes, and then slowly landed, giving up. It seems that the limit distance is now 18 meters. Sasuke, I seem to have figured out your abilities. Your chance to attack is now gone. Lord Madara, now, give you another Rinnegan. Black Zetsu roughly cut out Obito's left eye and handed the bloody Rinnegan to 6 Paths Madara. Madara's mouth twitched, and she took it neatly and placed it directly on her left eye. Because of the interaction of the power of yin and yang of the 6 paths, the transplant of one eye was completed without a trace of blood. Two Renegons. Together. Shadow clone. Boom, bang. One shadow clone stepped back, one and Naruto moved forward. Kakashi suddenly said, Naruto, we will protect ourselves. Now with this level of fighting, I understand that we are already a burden to you, right? Naruto, let's go. Sasuke interrupted Kakashi's words and rushed forward. Naruto moves forward with Shadow Clone. Futon, Wind Style, Rasenshuriken. Yandun Gaju Earth Life. Yandun and Futon, Wind Style, merged together, and the black flames skyrocketed. Madara, who slowly floated into the air, was extremely proud. The hideous smile he showed was more arrogant than ever before. Sure enough, my eyes are comfortable to use, it's almost time to solve you. Madara slapped two palms and created nearly 10 center points, and flew into the air quickly. God Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth. He smiled grimly, with a hideous face. Chapter 567 Show Up. God's Judgment. Madara's sinister smile was seen by Sasuke, who was far away on the ground. He frowned slightly, looking at the dozen or so dangerous things around him, feeling a little apprehensive. Sasuke, that trick. It's scary. Be careful. Naruto frowned slightly, and Kyuubi, Nine Tails, chakra quickly leaked out. But it failed. Naruto only allowed himself to have a golden coat, and chakra had no way to expand. Damn it. Is it because this is Yin Kurama chakra? It's really inconvenient to use. Shut up. The old man's chakra and my half-body are of the same nature, it's just that your talent is not enough, you can't master it quickly. Naruto smirked, but he didn't expect to be reprimanded by the other half of his body, Kurama, at this time. God Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth. Madara in the night sky looks down on everyone like a god. That trick is. Kakashi frowned slightly, and could see that the chakra hit the center point of the 10 black bodies. The situation is very bad. Boom boom boom. Whoosh. Crack kaka kaka. Sasuke looked indifferent. Susanoo has arranged it. The huge Susanoo jumped up and attacked at any time at this moment, while Madara chuckled, hands together. The black sphere began to generate a huge attraction. Sasuke was stunned, he had started to exert his strength, and he had a tendency to leave the ground. He immediately switched from attacking to defending. Over there, Naruto stepped back and used Kyuubi, Nine Tails chakra to grab everyone at close range. Everyone, be careful to hold on to my chakra. Sasuke, you come too. It doesn't have to be. Sasuke looked at their funny appearance, 10,000 unwilling. Boom, boom. The stone slowly rose, attracted by the center point. Each one is as powerful as Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, but with 10 different points of gravity, the earth gradually splits into stones, and is slowly attracted to the wound. Then they gathered together and floated in the air. The whole moment is like a huge meteorite. Sasuke with yin power is not affected by Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, at all, and Naruto with yang power even protects everyone from being affected. It's ridiculous. Madara stood tall in the sky. But, now I have no interest in playing anymore. The duel with Hashirama, Neji and Guy only made Madara feel that behavior, like this kind of battle that only relies on bloodline without any IQ and stunt, makes Madara feel extremely bored. I have been using those tricks all the time, and it makes my head dizzy. Although the rain is a bit heavier, it should be just right for you guys. Madara's eyes are sinister. Boom. I saw 10 large meteorites made by Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth crashing down. Faster and faster, and now Tsuchikajinoki and Gaara are not there, neither is Neji. Damn it, Kamui can't transfer this kind of thing at all. Kakashi had no choice but to sigh about his powerlessness. In this level of battle, he didn't even have a supporting role. But Naruto stayed behind as a clone, and the main body has raised his hand. Om. The 9 tails are raised, and the 9-tailed beast bombs have been gathered. Tailed beast bomb Rasenshuriken. Next, I will crush all the meteorites with one blow. Everyone, get ready. Huh, this can also be done. Tenten blinked, and for a moment, he felt that Naruto was stronger than Neji. She looked at Neji in her arms again, and was sleeping soundly at the moment. If Neji was really injured, she would really think that Neji was just sleeping in. By the way, Neji also has the cells of the first Hokage. The wound should be healed soon, right? Neji, come back soon. Sasuke, I'll leave the rest to you. Nine-tailed beast bombs rushed up and collided with the meteorite. Bang, sound, roaring everywhere. Sasuke, on the other hand, complied softly and rushed forward. Susanoo slashed Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, to pieces. Annihilation. So, what about this? Madara suddenly appeared behind Sasuke. Sasuke's Rinnegan moved and immediately switched tailed beasts with Madara. It was me who attacked, Sasuke said fiercely. Susanoo slashed with a knife. However, Madara came from the winning side and caught it with one hand. Mere grit, not half as good as mine. Boom. Rinnegan's power fluttered away. Sasuke was stunned, and found that his Susanoo had been absorbed in the past. Rinnegan's ability to open his eyes. Sasuke, you can't beat me. Boom. At this time, seeing that Sasuke was about to be caught by Madara, a fiery flame rose from all around Madara. This is... Madara frowned, puzzled. What? I saw a fiery fire rising into the sky. It's Neji's chakra. Boom boom boom. Flame revolving heaven. What time is this? Neji's moves are different from Sasuke's, and he injected Senpo, Sage Art and Divine Power at the same time to form Kaiden's fire-style chakra, which Madara can't suppress even with the power of 6 paths. It turns out that it was that time. Madara bit Kiba and closed her eyes. Then he opened his eyes, and he had appeared in his shadow, right behind Tenten. Watch out, Tenten. Naruto reacted immediately, but Madara had already shot. Unexpectedly, Neji in Tenten's arms suddenly opened his eyes. Neji. Tenten was startled. Neji had stood up and looked at Madara in front of him. Power back. Madara was surprised to feel the power that was surging out of Neji's body. It was by no means ordinary. Neji, on the other hand, listened to the system's prompts. Ding! Congratulations to the host's Godhead consciousness being promoted to the realm of integration and penetration. Rewards have been issued. Ding! Congrats on the promotion of the host's divine power to the realm of pure fire. The reward has been issued. Neji stood in front of Madara. Madara at this moment, Neji is a threat. Naruto was also relieved. Sasuke over there escaped and landed. Sasuke smiled knowingly when he saw Neji over there. HMPH, finally showing up, this guy. It's just that they didn't know that it was not only the two of them who saw the 6 paths immortals, but also Neji, and what Neji got was not at all comparable to the power of yin and the power of yang. One after another, what happened? Did you experience some incredible things in the spiritual world? Madara frowned slightly, a little angry. Neji snorted softly and said indifferently, no, it's just incarnated as a god. God. Yes, the gods have come to judge you for the sins you have committed. Neji stretched out his hand and pointed at Madara. Madara was taken aback. But it was only later that I realized that this gesture did not seem to have a special meaning. Madara sneered. It's ridiculous. It's just that you always surprise me. I didn't expect that the last blow at that time turned out to be the time limit technique set on me. It seems that you are indeed a worthy opponent. Madara doesn't dare to underestimate Neji now. Huh. White light flashes. Neji is already close. His eyes are determined. So fast. Neji stopped his hand, and only clenched his fists, and a wave of red flames erupted around his body. Boom. Madara's limbo clone was instantly annihilated, and the main body has been transferred to Sasuke's side again. Chidori. Huh. Madara dodged Sasuke's Chidori. Madara kicked Sasuke with Susanoo. HMPH, without Neji, you'd be dead a second time now. But it doesn't matter, now that both Rinnegaons are gathered, even Neji can't stop me. Madara said, her expression quiet. Chapter 568 Defeat. Play hard. Sasuke, are you all right? Naruto rushed over quickly, intending to protect. Madara didn't shoot, but Sasuke stood up, but Naruto was no longer in his eyes, and he looked at Neji over there. He murmured inwardly, this guy has become stronger again. From that Chunin exam, Sasuke began to notice the genius of the Hyuga family. I just didn't expect that his talent was covered up so much, and Sasuke's exaggerated strength appeared again and again, making Sasuke doubt himself, doubting that he would never be better than Neji. At this moment, Sasuke doesn't seem to be so suspicious. Because this matter seems to have started from destiny. From what Sasuke learned from Hagoromo's mouth about what kind of reincarnation of Indra he is, Sasuke has a general understanding of fate. The so-called reincarnation, then there must be some destined results. Looking at Neji's appearance, I am afraid that his previous life or body should be a stronger existence than Indra and Asura. Neji's strength cannot be summed up by talent or hard work alone. Seeing Neji approaching step by step, both Naruto and Sasuke moved away knowingly. This main battlefield, who is the king, is simply clear at a glance. Neji, watch out for this guy. Naruto watched Sasuke suffer, and he no longer wanted his companions to get hurt, so he reminded Neji. And at the moment Neji is putting pressure on Six Paths Madara, they have no way of knowing Akatsuki. Because, for the first time, Madara saw pure killing intent in Neji's eyes. Interesting, are you finally trying to kill me? Neji looked indifferent and calmed down his anger slowly. God can't have personal emotions. This is what Vulcan gave him, but Neji, as expected, still can't do it. Sensed Madara's murder on Tenten, Neji's killing intent surged up. He was definitely not a pure god, Neji was still immortal after all. That would lead to a very serious calamity. But even then, are you still willing to protect your teammates? That's right. The dialogue with Vulcan is vivid in my eyes. This is Neji's choice. Dilemma in the world. Since you have to train and complete the body of the true god, the best choice is to abandon all worldly distractions. Don't pay attention to the disputes outside, Neji, even if your body outside is annihilated and destroyed, you will still be able to do it. Rebirth, reincarnation, you are immortal, you are already a god. But with mortal feelings, it will consume your godhead consciousness, and if you continue like this, you will lose the qualifications of God. So, if I can't have emotions, what's the use of this godhead? I'm sorry, you may have misunderstood. Even the gods are the same to me, just a tool to become stronger. I have no feelings for your gods, and I am not a real saint. At first I became stronger just to protect my clan and myself, then I wanted to protect Konoha village, now I want to protect this ninja world. Why do you ask me? Quote. Because I am Hyuga Neji. Vulcan said that he had never seen such a persistent person. Although he chose a path that seems obviously not easy to take, Vulcan is still very optimistic about Neji. Choose your own path, and I hope you will one day become a god. I haven't moved since just now, but there is no breath. Is this guy's power already surpassing me? I can't feel it. Six Paths Madara suddenly panicked. Neji, before, I had a little illusion, and this feeling became more and more obvious. Could it be that I don't feel wrong? No, it's impossible. The power of the Six Paths Fairy is the apex of this world. Crack. Six Paths Madara was shocked when Neji slapped herself down. The whole person is about to fall, but immediately hand seal. Huh. Limbo came out quickly, and the shadows became six again. Neji, be careful, that's an invisible clone. Bang. The huge amount of chakra exploded, pushing all the shadows around quickly away. This is normal gentle fist chakra. Why does it work on my shadow? My limbo. Madara took a few steps back, and the pressure brought by Neji was not only a physical suppression, but also a mental one. That look made Madara see who she used to be. I used to be unable to see anyone because of my strength, but in the Sengoku era, except for Hashirama, I was never invincible. You're over this farce. Madara's shadow is gone. Neji is like a god, really judging Madara's life and death. Impossible. I haven't lost yet. I've already reached this stage. Madara lost inexplicably. The three of them fell asleep on the verge of death, and woke up with such a powerful ability. Not to mention the two special beings Naruto and Sasuke, who possess the power of yin and yang equal to their own. The Hyuga clan, whom the Uchiha clan has always looked down on, has the power beyond the six paths. Strength. Senpo, Sage Art, Gale Style, Storm Style, Hikari Kiba. Madara spat out a ray like Gale Style, Storm Style, from her mouth, and without seeing any trace of electricity, she stroked it for a long time. The mountains in the distance are all toppled, but Neji, who is standing in front of him, is unafraid. Gale Style, Storm Style, swiped across Neji's body, but it seemed to be blocked and completely dissipated. I saw Neji's body, one after another rock-solid defense. Revolving Heaven. I saw Revolving Heaven lingering around Neji's body. The thick obstacle avoidance was polarized between black and white. It was the power of yin and the power of yang that were entangled with each other. I didn't expect. You are like me. Master has the power of yin and yang. Madara's eyes widened. This is the power of six paths, which is different from the simple yin-yang chakra. Why does Neji also have the power of six paths? This is six paths revolving heaven. Neji chuckled, but he didn't expect this move to reach such a level. And the degree of defense is not a level at all. What the hell is going on? Madara is almost crazy, and her hard work for nearly 100 years has been in vain. After nearly 100 years of hard work, a young man who was only 18 years old broke the legend and surpassed himself. Madara can accept that her plan has failed, but she will never accept that her path has been denied. You're just grit, don't think you're special. Neji's indifference made Madara fall into an abyss-like pain. Damn. Madara clenched her fists, and her body exploded with the power of yin and yang. Neji was startled, and immediately hand-sealed. Sealing technique Jizo. Boom. The dark and ghostly fire around it burned, showing an oily green color. Slowly approaching Madara, even the air was burned out of the hole by the flame. Has even the matter of the world dissolved? This flame is above Amaterasu. Sasuke, who saw this technique, was stunned. But the next moment, Madara disappeared. I said, I will not fail. Madara grabbed Tenten's neck with one hand and lifted Tenten up. This guy, when is the shadow? Naruto frowned, he didn't even notice it. Madara smiled and said, Neji, let me teach you a lesson. As a strong man, to achieve his goals, he should do whatever he can. Chapter 569 Launch. Infinite Tsukuyomi. Tenten. Naruto looked more nervous than Neji, and immediately wanted to do it, and Madara panicked. But what Madara cares about is not Naruto, but that there is a monster over there now. No, it should be Neji who is like a god. I feel like I could fall short at any time. Only Neji will give Madara this invincible feeling. Even Hashirama of that year, it is absolutely impossible for Madara to feel this way. Don't act rashly, or the girl will die. Madara bit Kiba and pinched Tenten's neck with her hands, but he could relax his mind and only did it that he could kill Chengdu at any time, and didn't do too much. His purpose is to make Neji stop moving, otherwise, if he accidentally kills Tenten, his plan will likely be blocked as well. Now, it will take a while. He raised his head and saw his shadow, slowly moving towards the moon. Sure enough, Neji stopped, and the chakra feeling disappeared quietly. It seems My judgment is not wrong. This girl is quite important to you, right? No, for people like you who have inherited the so-called will of fire, the life of any one of your companions seems to be very important. Huh, it's boring. It's just that this girl's weakest, even the current Kakashi, has the ability to protect herself. In my desperation, I have no way to make sure that I can kill him, but this girl. Hee hee. Neji, you should regret that you didn't bring this girl to the battlefield. Those of you who haven't experienced the Sengoku era are all children to me. In such a battlefield, any weak person is a burden to me. Madara proudly started preaching, holding the hostage of the other party's heart in her hand, and naturally she felt that she was standing on the top of Lingju Ding. This guy. Naruto bit Kiba, glanced at Neji over there, and didn't speak for a long time. That's why you chose to be alone. Sasuke took the initiative to ask this question. Kakashi and Naruto who were present were stunned, and the little Lee over there was also taken aback. Sasuke-kun. Little Lee blinked, thoughtful. Sasuke took a deep breath and let it out slowly. I'm not like them, I don't care about the girl's life. Sasuke's indifferent attitude surprised Tenten, who was now in Madara's hands. But Tenten wasn't angry or scared, just looked at Sasuke with a bitter expression on his face. Everyone's focus was on Sasuke. Sasuke said indifferently, I am indeed more ruthless. If there is only me here, I will seize every opportunity to kill you without hesitation. Madara. But here you are not just facing me alone. Besides, in the same situation, I want to kill you. Now there is a safer way. That is to wait for them to make a decision before attacking you. It's easier and safer than rushing over by myself, so I don't need to take the risk now. But being a more ruthless me, I'm also more sensible. So I can offer better options. Sasuke's eyes, intentionally or unintentionally, looked at the silent Neji over there. However, Kakashi inadvertently complained. Madara, the legendary ninja, is he going to use such a despicable way to his juniors now? Madara curled her lips and said disdainfully, in order to complete her plan, she must do whatever she can. You are the ones who don't understand me, why are you called juniors? You are just a bunch of stupid people. But I, as the savior, will bring you hope. And peace. What a lunatic. Sasuke frowned. Sasuke, what did you mean by the choice you just said? Only Naruto paid attention to Sasuke's speech and couldn't forget it. Sasuke was silent for a while, then explained, now I choose to rush directly to Madara. Madara can only threaten me with the Tenten in her hand to protect herself, but this move only works for Neji, but it doesn't work for me. I know now Neji is the biggest threat to Madara, but my power Madara may not be able to handle it easily. Quote. If Madara chooses to let go, then the Tenten will be rescued. If Madara chooses to kill the Tenten, then Madara will be attacked by all of us. This choice, no pressure for me, for Madara, is maximum pressure. Quote. Hearing Sasuke's remarks, Madara frowned tightly. You. Madara raised her head proudly, staring at Sasuke. You are so naive, your thoughts are so pure. Ha ha, could it be that Obito chose you but didn't reuse you? Madara's words made Sasuke frown. It is indeed a little clever, but you underestimate the darkness of the human heart. Madara's mouth twitched and she looked at Neji over there. You don't care, but someone cares. The confrontation here now is the confrontation between me and Neji, and it has nothing to do with you trash. Huh. Madara curled her lips and looked at Neji. The eyes of everyone followed. At this time, Neji has fallen into contemplation. In the inner world, Neji heard the voice of the inner Vulcan. Your heart is shaken. It seems that you really survived the previous trial by relying on your unique method. Vulcan's voice echoed in his heart, and he thought that Neji would really do nothing without desire. But now it seems that is not the case. Neji's feelings for his companions, although not on the surface, are deeply the same in his heart. If this goes on, you will be defeated by your inner demon, and you will not become a god. You will always become a first-order mortal. Ah, but I decided to do it anyway. You. Because. Then being a first-order mortal. I don't want to be a scum who has become a god. Neji's eyes widened in anger. Divine power. Boom. Madara was stunned, and the whole person was knocked back dozens of meters, just in an instant. What happened? Why? Madara bit Kiba, and Tenten was hugged by Neji. And Neji's body, Vulcan backlash. Ziz. Boom. The flames burned every inch of Neji's skin, and Tenten's eyes filled with tears as he asked dumbly, Neji, you. Why? Ino will be sad to see you like this. Neji's expression was solemn, and blood slowly flowed from the corner of his mouth. No, if Ino sees me and turns a blind eye to you. That is the biggest disappointment to me. Neji remembered what he once carried in his hands, and what he did now, he will not have any regrets. Zoo, twice. Naruto and Sasuke followed, and Madara was constantly repelled. Madara bit Kiba and murmured. Neji released the move just now and almost emptied his chakra in an instant. This is a good opportunity. Huh. Is it gone again? After he has eyes, the shadow can be manipulated farther and farther. Naruto said. Sasuke stood there and looked into the night sky. Madara's shadow was very conspicuous. Madara, who was standing in the night sky, raised her head. He murmured in his heart. According to the words recorded on the stone tablet, when the person with the power of 6 paths approaches the moon, the 9-tomo Rinnegan used to master the fate of the world will open. Madara reached out and broke the foot above her head. A crisp voice, a crack opened in Madara's forehead. Whoosh. Bloody Yuhi-colored Rinnegan, aim at the huge moon in the sky. 9-tomo Rinnegan shines, Madara hand seal, now. It's time to come together. Demonic Illusion Infinite Tsukuyomi. Chapter 570 Go. Dream World. At this moment, Neji, the body of the Vulcan, who slowly put down the Tenten, is temporarily slack. Thank you for not eroding my body, Vulcan. Neji showed a gratified smile, and Vulcan complained, you bastard, if you encounter other gods, you will be blown away. That trick will be as rare as possible in the future. Chinken, but it consumes mental power, and for you who have incomplete consciousness of Godhead, that trick is very dangerous. I know. Neji narrowed his eyes, breathed a sigh of relief, and looked up at the night sky. It seems that the next step can only be temporarily handed over to Naruto and Sasuke. Fortunately, they have the power of yin and yang. Ding. Intense light down, Neji hand seal. Now that's all I can do. Instead of staying, it's better to give the world to Sasuke and Naruto first. You really are a good man, Vulcan said slowly in Neji's heart. Boom. Naruto. Sasuke landed and was about to remind Naruto, but the next moment, the surroundings became dark. Then, the black and white muddy light flashed, and they realized that they were all trapped in the 6 paths revolving heaven made by Neji. Little Lee and Guy were too far apart, so they couldn't stand together. Kakashi was also deliberately excluded by Neji, while Sasuke and Naruto were protected inside. Neji deliberately excluded Kakashi, and now Kakashi is not at that level of combat power at all. There is no need to die in vain. Ding. A strong light shone down, from the 9-tomo Rinnegan printed on the moonlight, illuminating all things. World, this moment is like tomorrow. This is, what? Tenten raised his head suspiciously. Neji stood beside Tenten and explained indifferently. Infinite Tsukuyomi, Madara succeeded. Tenten was stunned. What do you mean, Neji? Didn't you beat Madara? Neji's mouth twitched. His eyes had become Rinnegan's ripples, and then Tenten felt dizzy and unable to move. I only heard Neji speak slowly. Tenten, I wish you a good dream. Hurry up. Something terrible seems to be happening over there. Karen had a premonition that something was wrong, and only Kimimaro walked silently at the forefront. Sir Neji, wait for me. This. Ding. The intense light shone all around, as if entering heaven in an instant. Orochimaru was taken aback and frowned, with a serious look he had never seen before. Suzuki, Shigego and the others also murmured and complained, but after that, everyone's bodies were restrained and unable to move. Ino, Hinata, Sakura, and Tsunade were all attracted by the light, and the shadows who fought with Afe all fell into infinite Tsukuyomi, and their eyes became the shape of Rinnegan. Trapped in an endless cycle. Madara, who was standing above the light at this moment, twitched the corner of her mouth and her face was hideous. This light can penetrate the shadows. No creature in the world can escape. Whether it is humans or beasts, they must fall into endless reincarnation. Start your short and long life. In a dream, you will be satisfied. Madara just bowed her head and gave a sinister smile after making sure that even Neji had entered infinite Tsukuyomi. And this dream, thought, is eternity. Grumbling. Neji frowned tightly, as if through endless years. System, are you still there? Go back to the host. What's the matter? Neji breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that even if his body was completely sealed and he fell asleep, the system would still be there. This is enough. Vulcan. No response, this time. It seems that the spiritual realm is sealed, or that he himself is in a dream, entering the dream created by infinite Tsukuyomi. Neji recalled the conversation with Vulcan. In the spiritual realm, Neji used the system's bug to survive the difficult trial. Okay, you have passed the test of mental power now. I didn't expect you to be able to have no distractions to this level. But really, this is not a real trial, just to not affect your becoming a god. Become a god. On the way, too much emotional distraction will make you lose your original strength. Quote. Neji was already tired of teaching, so he pulled out his ears and said, Oh, I know, what you want to say is the same as the conditions for the Uchiha family to open Sharingan. If you don't experience separation and pain, you can't have power. In other words, the love of the Uchiha family is an obstacle to them, and the tenacity and ruthlessness they endured without that love is the source of their strength, Izumi. Well said, but then, it's more important. There are more important things. Listen. Vulcan was so serious that he explained to Neji, the more important thing is whether you can understand what you are after. This is the only way to become a god. Understand what you're after. Didn't you teach little Lee? But teachers often ignore whether they have a higher realm. Therefore, the ninja system is very strict, and students only follow the teacher's teaching, because the teacher is not the same as the ability. They are strong, but the realm is above them. Even though there are so many geniuses, there is no genius teacher. Quote. Vulcan explained, even geniuses like Shisui and Itachi, when they surpass Jonin, only shared duties in Anbu, but the real teacher is Chunin like Iruka. Do you understand when I say this? But Neji complained, hey, you understand quite a bit. You even know about Iruka. Vulcan's face darkened, and he said impatiently, really? I am a god. A god. Don't underestimate the gods. Then, let the fart go. It really does not give God any respect. However, Neji's personality still moved Vulcan, so he didn't care about him. You've only been teaching little Lee, but you've forgotten what you're working hard for. Little Lee tried his best to protect you, so he used his powers that he didn't have before. And your own strength has surpassed the 6 paths immortal, but you can't show your real strength. It's because you don't have the consciousness of little Lee. You can't pretend to be enlightened. Even if you pretend that you want to protect this world, you can't judge whether you like this kind of world in your heart. Naruto is for Sasuke, for recognition. What about you? Even it feels like you don't belong in this world. As soon as Vulcan finished speaking, Neji shrugged and said in his heart, good guy. You guessed right. As expected of a god. Go to understand what your heart wants, you will become a god one day. Now, let's go to the dream world. Neji frowned. Although he didn't know what he would encounter, he just wanted to take a look. In his dreams, he would encounter some monsters, but he would always encounter what he was after, right? Sure enough, if you think about it, there will be no ending. Don't you just take the opportunity of infinite Tsukuyomi to take a good look at your heart? Neji planned from the beginning, so when facing Madara, he didn't hesitate to use Tianju. Kamizuki of the Heavenly Destiny, the real fate god, is said to be able to decide the fate of others, and Neji took the risk of using that trick and temporarily handed everything over to Naruto and Sasuke. Although it is a risky attempt, it is also a problem that Neji must solve. The mind was confused for a while, and then slowly woke up. The pain came from the body, and Neji opened his eyes. The pain from his body and the height difference made him instantly realize that he was still at the stage of about 13 years old. Good guy, is it a fight to come up? Neji's mouth twitched and he tilted his head. Looking around, this scene shocked him. Chapter 571 Counterattack. I'm not trash. What the hell is this? Neji frowned in confusion, only to see that he was in the one-on-one exam during the Chunin selection meeting. And the opponent he faced was Gaara. Go, Neji. Over there, Hinata shouted angrily, looking very motivated. Guy nodded with a mature face, and smiled handsomely. Well, Neji, good job, I have been holding on for 3 minutes, and I still haven't fallen. Over there, Kakashi shouted lively, Neji. Fuck him. Oh who? Nervous disease. Neji almost turned Byakugan into Byakugan. Could it be that his dream was a world of confusion? This is too unreal. Shasha. Neji finished speaking, a large amount of sand came towards him. Neji, who had just entered the dream state, seemed to have been stripped of his perception ability and did not notice it at all. His whole body was hit by a large amount of sand, and then he was curled up, and his whole body was bound by the sand. Hee. Blood, I'm going to kill you. There, Gaara went berserk, and in the fight with Neji, he lost control unconsciously. Sunagaku over there is asking the instructor, stop it, the current Gaara will go berserk. Seeing Maki's vulnerable appearance, Neji was speechless. Forgot to fight back. What's the matter, is there such a strange thing in my heart? Neji's speechless heart welled up in his heart. But, even though it was a dream, the pain is still real. Boom. Sand came, and Neji frowned and closed his eyes. Byakugan. When I opened my eyes, my veins jumped. Boom. Dong 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 dong. Countless gentle fist chakras hit the past, the sand and stones scattered and fell, and Neji also got out of control and fell to the ground. What? Gaara spared Neji. Great, Neji survived. Run, Neji, you bastard, as a waste, you must have the self-consciousness of a waste. Neji narrowed his eyes and almost vomited blood when he heard everyone's comments on him. Trash. How much do you care about this title? Even dreams are trash, and it looks more trash than his past. Great, my begging worked. Great. Maki looked up and sighed, patted his chest, and his eyes were very sad and pitiful. Gaara over there was breathing heavily and was extremely violent. Neji narrowed his eyes and murmured, it's you Guy, you're so consistent. It's the same as the original world. Let's start with you first. Ding. Congratulations to the host, the strength has been promoted to Genin. System, why don't you come out and explain to me what's going on? Neji was instantly furious. How could a dream that he had accumulated for so long be emptied for him? This is not gas explosion. However, the system seems to be in another dimension, and replied, respond to the host. Now in the dream, your own strength is not weakened, but the strength in the dream is limited by your own thinking. My own mind. Yes, that is the subconscious. That is to say, in your dreams, you set yourself like this, and your strength will not change, but in dreams, you cannot use your true strength. By the way, your subconscious gave me instructions to prompt. Quote. Prompted instructions. What the hell is that? Your subconscious reminds you that within the specified time, you can return to the real world by raising your strength from genin to cage level or above in your dreams. Ow, that's how it is. Neji felt the sand coming again, and over there, little Lee was shouting loudly, Neji. You admit defeat. It's too late if you don't admit defeat. Didn't we agree before? You want to go up and get beaten up and then come back. Home is good for business. Now this state is enough. Sure enough, it's another trash character. Neji murmured, struggling to avoid Gaara's sand. The pain and dullness from this body gave Neji the same feeling. The judgments of the people around him are full of evaluations such as injecting waste and surrendering, and his body looks like a waste ninja should be. Do you let yourself use this situation to counterattack? Hey. Neji seems to be able to understand a little bit of his inner thoughts. According to this, what I want should be a counterattack, right? Since we have already arrived here, I have to open the eyes of this group of ignorant people. As long as you satisfy your own thoughts, you can start from infinite. Did you go out in Tsukuyomi? This is a set that Neji set for himself. In order to pursue the things in his heart, he actively chooses to enter infinite Tsukuyomi. If he can walk in infinite Tsukuyomi, then Neji will not be too far from the road of becoming a god. Ninja Sandstone Rain. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Came towards Neji. But this move, in the eyes of Neji's fighting subconscious, is a very simple and boring control move. Any ninja with a Chunin level would never be hit by this kind of attack. But, so helpless, he is now at Genin's level. No. Neji dodged terribly, and a rain of sand and stones passed through his face. Thorn. Blood flew by and Neji was wounded. He frowned slightly. Even when he really took the Chunin exam back then, he wasn't injured so easily. It seems that his starting point now is even more difficult than then. Could it be that my inner thoughts are just to give myself more tests? That's really boring. But Neji said so, but he didn't think he was just like that in his heart. Since it is a dream evolved from your subconscious, it must contain what you want to pursue in your heart. As long as you find that thing during this period of time, that's it, right? Sha. The sand congealed again, tying Neji's legs and feet. Now, you can't escape. Hee. Gaara stared, bloodshot all over her eyes. At this moment, everyone in the arena hung their hearts. Gaara, are you going to kill someone? No way. Neji will die if he goes on like this. Neji, get out of the way. No, he can't escape, he's just a trash ninja. Such a person might as well die. It was Naruto who said this. And Naruto raised his head, looked proudly at Neji in the field, and glanced at Hinata over there from time to time. Hinata is the girl he has long admired. As a genius girl from the Hyuga family, she has a cold personality. But he has a soft spot for his own waste brother. Brother Neji. Hinata pursed her lips, looking like she was in trouble. Hey, beautiful Hinata Tilda. Tamari, who was beside him, leaned over, twitched his lips, and teased, your brother Neji will kill Gaara soon. Tilda, how's it going? How do you feel? Hinata just narrowed his eyes and said indifferently, don't worry, I will kill your brother with my own hands. Tamari was startled, covered her mouth and smiled. Sorry, my brother, I don't care about that kind of guy. It's just a guy controlled by Shukaku's chakra. It's a shame to be controlled by something like a tail beast. Hinata glanced at Tamari, the talented teenage girl famous in Sunagakur village. As the most outstanding generation of the younger generation of the Land of Wind and the Land of Fire, the confrontation between the two immediately attracted everyone's attention. Everyone doesn't seem to care about the outcome of the battle. Neji is sure to lose, and few people care about his life. However, bang! A huge force erupted, and the sand scattered towards the audience. Gaara was knocked out, and Neji was panting in a posture of revolving heaven. Hey, I'm not a waste. Neji's eyes seemed to have regained a little bit of his former blood. Chapter 572. Congratulations. Chunin Hyuga Neji. Neji, stand up. Someone shouted, and the eyes of the audience focused on Neji again. I saw Neji stand up slowly and let out a sigh of relief. Ding tilde, congratulations to the host for getting the reward of the divine weapon. Obtained Teishu Revolving Heaven. And Neji himself knew how to release Revolving Heaven, but this body and chakra volume didn't allow it. Now that he has obtained the ability of Revolving Heaven, Neji let out a long sigh of relief. That's the truth, otherwise what would you use to fight this guy? Ziz. I saw Gaara bit Kiba and seemed very dissatisfied to see Neji resisting himself, and the whole body began to mutate slowly. Tailed Beast. Gaara Tailed Beast. Neji's eyes widened. This guy. Could it be? In his own dream, has Gaara turned into a tailed beast? Clearly not using a fake spell. Why would? Ziz. I saw that Gaara's body began to mutate and became the appearance of Shukaku's body, and that weird shape reminded Neji back when he saw Gaara's mutation 5 years ago. At that time, he already had the strength of Jonin level, and it was very difficult to win Gaara. Now that he has only mastered the strength of Revolving Heaven at his Genin level, he still can't defeat Gaara, right? Too bad. Neji finished speaking. The people on the stage were all cheering. There's a good show here. That guy is cuter than a psychic beast. Ha ha. A farce has begun tilde. And Neji caught a glimpse, standing in the very center of the spectator seat, with Hinata's indifferent and worried eyes. What the hell is going on? Neji looked over and saw that the tailed beast that Gaara evolved into was only the size of 2 adults. And Shukaku itself is bulky, and now it's smaller. It looks like a fat man with limited mobility. Huh, is this a tailed beast? Suffocation, the feeling of suffocation. Neji utterly despaired of the world and sighed. What the hell is going on? Boom. Gaara ran towards this side, looking very motivated. Kill you. Coupled with those angry eyes and low roar, Neji instantly entered a state of preparation. If in the dream, one's own strength is weakened by most, but the consciousness ability that has been trained so hard is hidden in Neji's memory. As long as the memory is not clear, the keen sense of battle will be lost. Always exist in your body. Gaara, come on. Neji stared blankly in front of him, and Gaara ran with all his might. Because of his size, he looked very funny, and his movements were extremely clumsy. The sound of clicking, Gaara after the tail animal transformation, running is not as good as the wild civet cat. Neji-kun, be careful, this guy's attack is strong. There, Tenten looked pitiful, shouting for Neji madly, just like Neji's little fangirl. Neji was in a cold sweat and immediately thought of leaving this world. It's really a strange world. It seems that I have to get the cage level strength as soon as possible and leave this world. And I'm not willing to be a cage level fool, I have to become a god and a saint. Gentle fist. Neji flew away and met Gaara with a palm. I thought it would be evenly matched, but I didn't expect. Neji easily knocked down Gaara with one palm. Ah! Gaara widened her eyes and said in surprise, Why? Why do you have such power? Impossible. Then, fell heavily. At this moment, the referee was taken aback, stepped forward quickly, and said in surprise, Winner. Hyuga, Neji. The man's hoarse voice made Neji feel a little familiar, but he didn't care. After all, he should be someone who had appeared in his memory, and it was extremely normal to feel familiar. Everyone who appears in the dreams should have an indelible impression on them. Too strong. Neji made it to the finals. Finals. Hey, am I not trash? Neji narrowed his eyes and gave a helpless wry smile. Before he could play, he was told to continue the game. Next is the final round. The winner can be promoted to Chunin. This is also the only place in this exam. The only one, that's too harsh. So I'm the only ninja who can be promoted to Chunin. Why do you say I'm trash? Neji pouted, looking depressed. The people above were taken aback, and everyone burst into laughter. Hey, Neji, what are you talking about? They laughed, mocking Neji. What's so funny? What are you talking about? Neji, you are 1 year older than Hinata. Everyone watching here is already a chunin. And Hinata, who is 1 year younger than you, has become a jonin. How dare you? Ha ha ha. Everyone's ridicule made Neji's jaw drop again. He didn't have time to pay attention to those ruthless ridicules, he just felt deeply helpless. Jonin, Hinata. Are they all chunin? That oneself is indeed quite a rubbish, presumably the person opposite him must be a rubbish just like himself. Then let's get started. Quick fight. Neji breathed a sigh of relief, but he didn't intend to use it any longer. Since he wanted to fight, he would hurry up. He didn't want to stay in this strange world for a moment. Ning, Neji. Opposite, is a shy girl. Her beige hair, Yuhi shy face, just right figure, sexy and cute at the same time. Well, Ino. I thought I would be the shocking person, but now I am the one who keeps shocking. Neji stared at Ino blankly, his mind was confused. Ino smiled shyly, more beautiful and seductive than Neji had ever seen her. I admit defeat. What? The audience was dumbfounded. Why, Ino, why give in? With your talent, you should be able to defeat Neji very easily. This time the chunin spot must be yours. Everyone's persuasion was meaningless to Ino. She stared at Neji like a sick girl with a shy smile. I worked hard to get here, just for this moment. That way, Neji-kun can be chunin. Great. Although she is speechless, Neji has to say that Ino in this world is really gentle. Just a little angel in the world. And more importantly, her charming curves. Hey. Neji suddenly had some strange thoughts in his heart, it was a dream anyway. Cough cough. Say it again. He walked forward, just about to ask something. A burst of Uzumaki appeared ahead. Huh. Neji stepped back subconsciously, taking a defensive posture. Don't be nervous, it's me. The hoarse voice appeared, and Neji was startled and looked at the referee who appeared from Uzumaki. Wearing Konoha's forehead guard, next to a complete and handsome face. The two Sharingan are very familiar lines. Konoha Jonin, the general manager of this chunin exam, Uchiha Obito. Neji swallowed, not knowing how to face this person for a while. Could it be that the time he was looking for was chaotic entry? No, this is a dream, this is a dream. Neji kept persuading himself to accept these new settings, but looking at Ino's eyes towards himself and that conspiracy, Neji felt a chill on his back. Yamanaka Ino, are you really going to concede defeat to Hyuga Neji in the final, one step away from chunin? Well, yes, I can't beat Neji-kun, I give up. Uchiha Obito seemed to easily see that Neji won some because of love, but he wasn't angry, he twitched the corner of his mouth and looked at Neji. Congratulations, starting today, you have become chunin. Hyuga Neji. Having said that, Obito handed over a chunin forehead with the Konoha village logo engraved on it. Chapter 573 Weird. Neji's dream. In this way, it became chunin smoothly. Neji seems to be in a dream, no. This is a dream, right? Congratulations, Neji. In the barbecue shop, Little Lee ate barbecue frantically, uncharacteristically. No, in this world, it should be my own abnormal behavior. Seeing the Ten next to him, he can tell that he is gushing admiration for himself. Neji is really amazing, didn't expect this. At that time, Neji's move was so handsome. There must be some moves that were not used, right? Is it the revolving heaven of your Hyuga clan? That Gaara was defeated by Neji just like that. But isn't that Gaara the least talented ninja in Sunagakure village? All Jinchuriki column strength will be put into the body of the least talented ninja, right? Little Lee asked suddenly sluggishly while eating the barbecue. Eat you, Little Lee. Guy glared at Little Lee, hinting intentionally or unintentionally. Little Lee continued to eat again. 1010, after a while of embarrassment, continued the sugar-coated cannonball attack on Neji. Well, for Neji. I didn't expect Neji to enter the finals of the Chunin exam for the first time and win. It's really amazing. Neji must be the most handsome Chunin in the world. Neji, who can be promoted to Chunin, must be the best ninja, not what they call waste. But, 1010, little Lee stopped again, struggling to finish chewing the piece of roast meat in his mouth. You're not going to be promoted to the top. Ninja. Little Lee nearly choked to death with a piece of barbecue stuffed into 1010's mouth. Guy shrugged, he couldn't do anything with his students, and his personality became unusually calm. But in the face of these, Neji was exhausted. He sighed and said, I've finished eating, and I have something to do, so I'll go home first. Ah, well, Neji. Neji can't adapt to this kind of environment, but he knows that this is a dream, but Neji has no way to interpret it. It seems that understanding oneself is also a difficult course. When Neji was fighting with Gaara today, he deeply realized the inequality of combat power. The combat power of this world is disordered, and Neji's combat power has left a lot of things. The strength given by the system is beyond the dream, stealing the power of devouring and chakra with 7 attributes, Neji can still master now. Other words, Neji can easily break through the strength of cage level, it all depends on whether he is willing to show it. But in fact, now, the more important thing is to see through the question raised by Vulcan. What are you looking for? What is the choice of the heart? Since there is a dream, it is not a person without desires. If you don't want to be a person with no desires, then you must pay attention to your own desires and needs. In the end, what is it? Hey Tilda, do you think Neji is a little weird? Neji left, 1010 said with a serious face. You're weirder. Little Lee ate his food dully and responded sluggishly. I'll eat yours, I didn't ask you. 1010 rolled his eyes at Little Lee. Guy, on the other hand, nodded solemnly and muttered, yes, but I seem to have forgotten about Neji before. I seem to think he is strange, but I don't know why. It seems, 1010, we used to this person in the world. Is there any? 1010 was startled, and suddenly thought deeply about this question. Little Lee, however, finished the last piece of roasted meat, shouted the roasted meat, and said hesitantly, no matter whether there was Neji in the past or not, the Neji now is real. That's right, then let's welcome Neji. Cheers, Tilda. Everyone was having a good time, and without Neji, they seemed more natural. Neji walked alone on the empty street, and the night was silent. Hoo-hoo, blew on Neji's face. It's been a long time since I felt so comfortable, and Neji felt the beauty of the dream world. Although it is so strange here, there are almost no people I am familiar with, and no one has ever witnessed a moment of my own. But here, there is no war. Everything is so beautiful, Neji doesn't need to get up early to train and prepare for battle. You don't need to become stronger. On the contrary, becoming stronger will make you leave this world quickly, and if you don't become stronger, you can stay here alone. Wouldn't it be better? Neji asked himself deeply in his heart, did he really want to go back? Owning the system, you can do a lot of things that can be done, and there are bugs in the system. That's right, the bug is that Neji already has a strength close to cage level, but it shows the level of genin. After all, his subconscious even specially equipped his dream with a fake system. The system in the dream is as weird as the people in these dreams. However, this might be an opportunity. Using his powerful strength, he can easily dominate the world and bring peace to everyone. Anyway, from the beginning, what Neji did, wasn't it an infinite Tsukuyomi? Now it's just another dream, the original world, don't care. Isn't it? Neji chuckled, asking himself. But the next moment, he hesitated again. It has to be said that that world is real, and it is different from this world. Which side is real and which side should be left? This question kept circling in Neji's mind. Never mind. Go back and take a hot shower first. At least now in infinite Tsukuyomi, there is no need to fight. And my soul is immortal, as a god, I will always exist in one place. Neji reassured himself so, and took a quicker step. He walked in a familiar direction and walked into the yard not far from main clan. The lights were on inside, and Neji was slightly surprised. Someone. Your room should be completely empty on weekdays, could it be Hinata? But for Hinata, Neji is still looking forward to it. In the previous nonsense of 1010, Neji still learned that the current Hinata is the #1 talented girl in Konoha village. Neji would like to see what the powerful Hinata looks like. Squeak, tilde. Hinata, I'm back. Neji went in with a smile, took off his shoes and walked a dozen steps on the wooden floor, then walked into the living room and saw a mature back. It was a middle-aged man, and when he turned his head, his peaceful eyes and dignified face gave off a sense of no surprise. That face, similar to Hyuga but not Hyuga. Neji made a judgment easily and met a certain face in his memory. That face, I haven't seen. 13 years. Neji, are you back? Your mother is cooking noodles for you. Go and take a break. It's really great to hear that you passed the Chunin exam and became a Chunin. Father. Neji froze. At this time, on the other side, in a dark corner, a footstep sounded in the damp cave. Papa Pata, raindrops fell. Are you all there? The man with the tail beast, his eyes are Rinnegan, his face is blue and lifeless. Pain. Conan stood aside, his eyes moving. There are a total of 5 figures in front of them. After Hidan and Kakuzu left the organization, there are only 5 of you left in the organization. You are all famous ninjas from the 5 countries. Next, we Akatsuki's purpose, are you clear? Well, our goal is to completely control the last big country of the 5 countries, the country of fire, that is, the village of Konoha. I'm looting devil fruit in One Piece, Chapter 1 to 20. 1. Devil fruit looting system. Yuan Jie opened his eyes in a daze at this time. I saw a rough man in front of me. At this time, Yuan Jie just felt very confused. Because I'm not kissing me in bed with my girlfriend. What about your sweet girlfriend? This is where. At this moment, a boy with a straw hat next to him said to him, Yuanj. What are you thinking? Then, seeing a guy with a red nose beside him, he said confidently, you have to think about it. Don't even think about it. Our Captain Roger must have won. There it counts as 1. What? Hearing this, Yuan Jie was even more stunned at this time. What was the situation? Roger. Barrett. Just when Yuan Jie was thinking about this, a voice came to Yuan Jie's mind. Devil fruit plundering system binding successfully. Then I saw a line of subtitles appear on the screen in my mind. There are 2 ways to get the devil fruit. One is to defeat the opponent, and you can get the opponent's devil fruit. Looking at the screen, Yuan Jie was very suspicious at this time. Devil fruit. Did I travel to the world of One Piece? Just when Yuan Jie was thinking about this, some strange memories appeared in Yuan Jie's mind inexplicably. Yuan Jie knew that he was probably the so-called Soulware. The current identity of Yuanj is a brewing boy on the ship of the One Piece Roger. Apart from brewing, this guy is useless. At this moment, the sound in the distance suddenly stopped. You know, Barrett and Roger are both very powerful characters. The power of these 2 guys' battles is very destructive. Therefore, they chose to duel on a small island. It was at this time that the voice sounded in Yuan Jie's mind. Congratulations to the host captain for defeating Barrett. The host has obtained Barrett's fusion fruit. When Yuan Jie heard this, his face was stunned at this time. Because of what's going on. Yuan Jie originally thought that this system was useless for him, especially if he wanted to win those with devil fruit abilities. That is simply impossible. Unless he is dealing with guys like Abyss and Xiaoyu. Even Xiaoyu might not be able to beat him. But at this time, Yuan Jie didn't expect that there is still such a showy operation now. He actually obtained Barrett's fusion fruit like this. Barrett lost, and then Barrett joined their pirate group, and he was inspired to defeat Roger. However, at this time, Barrett found that his devil fruit ability was gone. This surprised everyone. As for Yuan Jie, he didn't say anything about it at this time. If you say it yourself, how should you explain it? In this way, Yuan Jie sailed on the sea with the Roger pirates. As for the devil fruit, I just picked it up, and I can even say that I don't even have to pick it up. As long as the guy defeated by their crew, the devil fruit will automatically enter the inventory in my mind. Looking at the countless devil fruits in his mind, Yuan Jie was terrified at this time. Every man is innocent of his guilt. This devil fruit is not ordinary. You know, these are a lot of guys Roger beat. Yuan Jie felt that sooner or later, this secret would be spread out. Therefore, at this time, Yuan Jie felt that he should improve his strength. So he chose to go to those crew members for advice. The crew members were very happy to ask Yuanj for advice. Because Yuanj's wine is good, these guys are also very friendly to Yuanj. In this way, Yuan Jie was practicing on Roger's boat in addition to making wine. If there were other things, it was picking up devil fruits. This made Shanks and Bucky, the two interns, envious. Although Yuanj practiced every day, this guy did not participate in any battles. Therefore, this guy has always been borrowed from the Nameless. If this guy goes out and says that he has been on the One Piece ship, it is estimated that other people will not believe it. Yuanj stayed on the boat until Roger died, and the other guys didn't notice the tricks on them. Of course, even if it was discovered, Yuan Jie was not afraid at this time. Because now he has 3-color domineering, and he also has many devil fruits. When Roger died, Yuan Jie began to wander. Because now he has gradually started to miss his relatives, and he wants to find a way to go back. Yuan Jie searched for a long time, but to no avail. In the end, Yuan Jie felt hopeless and began to enjoy life. Along the way, Yuan Jie also met a lot of fruit abilities. He has also met guys like Luo Wangman, Akainu, and Aokiji, but because he is too famous, those guys didn't take him seriously at all. As for Yuanj, he didn't deliberately fight these guys to get the devil fruit. Because at this time, he already had a lot of devil fruits. He has no desire to plunder the opponent's devil fruit at all. In this way, Yuan Jie has come to the East China Sea unknowingly. I didn't expect that I would come to the East China Sea. At this time, Yuan Jie could not help but sigh. But soon, Yuan Jie thought of one thing. Since we are in the East China Sea, then Zapu's Sea restaurant should also open. The food there is very good, I should go there to eat. Yuan Jie soon came to Zapu's Sea restaurant. Because Zapu's Sea restaurant is very famous in this sea area. After coming to this sea restaurant, Yuan Jie felt that the food here was good, so he relied on this place. As for Zap, he was also very happy, because the wine this guy brewed was very good. In this way, Yuan Jie became the winemaker of the restaurant on the sea. P.S. QQ Group, 564,589,267. Completed the novel, Super Seminary I Can Absorb Radiation. 2. Be my companion with Hawkeye, please collect, please recommend. Yuan Jie also saw Sanji, but Yuan Jie did not have any intersection with the guy. Soon, Yuan Jie discovered the arrival of Luffy and his party. He didn't pay too much attention to these Yuan Jie, because he had experienced too much, so what One Piece was just something he didn't want or not, and his own strength was probably hard to match. For this, Yuan Jie is still very confident. Just when Yuan Jie was sleeping on the chair, a familiar voice came from the system in Yuan Jie's mind. Ding! As long as the host collects all the devil fruits, he can go back. After hearing such a voice, Yuan Jie suddenly opened his eyes. Then he was slightly stunned, and then his body trembled uncontrollably. He burst into tears at this time. Because I finally found a way to go back. Yuan Jie also hated this system, because Yuan Jie felt that this system must have brought him to such a place. If it was before, Yuan Jie didn't feel it yet, but as he grew older, Yuan Jie missed his hometown and his relatives more and more. "What's wrong with you, uncle?" At this time, a boy with a straw hat walked over, and this boy was Luffy. Seeing an uncle twitching non-stop, he also kindly came up to ask at this time. "I'm fine." Seeing this, Luffy left. After being excited for a while, Yuan Jie began to think about how to plunder the devil fruit. Of course, at this time, Yuan Jie's bowels were all regretful, because he had encountered a lot of devil fruit abilities while wandering along the way. If he defeated the opponent himself, he would have obtained a lot of devil fruit. However, this guy feels that he has enough devil fruits, and his devil fruits are also very powerful, so he has no idea of hitting these devil fruits. Moreover, in order to make a living, Yuan Jie sold a lot of devil fruits, because in his opinion, he has so many devil fruits and his own strength is so strong that devil fruits are difficult to use, and those tasteless devil fruits are not good for him. That said, it's completely useless. Therefore, Yuan Jie sold those devil fruits, and they were the ones that were sold at a low price. From Yuan Jie's point of view, he had devil fruit, and he didn't bother to bargain with merchants. That devil fruit was basically sold for 100 million baileys. Moreover, he sold almost 20 of them. After thinking about this, Yuan Jie really regretted it. Because he now has to collect all the devil fruits, which is a very difficult task. However, at this time, Yuan Jie finally had hope of going back, which made Yuan Jie have to try it. Yuan Jie began to think about his future plans. Am I still a jerk on One Piece's ship like I used to be? In that case, I don't know when I'll be able to collect all the devil fruits. Therefore, Yuan Jie rejected this idea. It seems that I can't keep a low profile now. Yuan Jie sighed at this time. Then I will build the strongest pirate group. Otherwise, it will be difficult to compete with those navies. When Yuan Jie thought about his current situation, he couldn't help but feel depressed. Because at this time, apart from the more than 100 devil fruits in his mind, he has nothing. Soon, Yuan Jie thought that he could temporarily requisition Luffy and their pirate ship. It just so happened that he could also follow them to collect the devil fruits along the new route, and then go to the navy to collect them. After thinking about this, Yuan Jie's face showed a happy look at this time. Then he went to find those people. When he walked out of the restaurant on the sea, what caught his eye was that hawk-eyed Mihawk was now holding a knife against Sauron. Yuan Jie was very displeased with Hawkeye Mihawk's behavior. But soon, Yuan Jie remembered that he wanted to build the strongest pirate group. This guy's strength is good, you can pull this guy in. Cross-eyed, is there such a thing as humiliating people? At this time, Yuan said to Mihawk, who was fighting with Zoro. Cross-eyed. Hearing this, at this time, the people who were watching on the scene were all dumbfounded. Because the guy in front of him is really too daring, the other party can be eagle-eyed, one of the 7 Marshalseas under the king. This guy actually called each other like this. Originally, those onlookers thought that this guy had a great background, or knew this Hawkeye or something. However, at this moment, the one-person cooks in this sea restaurant were shocked. Yuan, what are you talking about? You should hurry up and make wine, don't mess around here. When I heard those cooks treat the person in front of me like this. Only then did these people know that this guy was just a brewer in this maritime restaurant. And the name Yuan, they had never heard of it at sea. So, these people think, there might be a good show, because this guy calls the mighty Hawkeye Cross-Eyes and that's literally killing him. These people are very curious at this time, as the king of Chihuahua, how will he treat this guy who humiliates himself? These people all felt that the winemaker named Yuan in front of him would definitely be dead by then. It was also the first time that Hawkeye was called cross-eyed, and he was also very angry. If it was spread out, what face would he have? Therefore, the eagle eye looked at Yuan Jie sharply. At this time, the eagle's eyes are really as others call him. His two eyes are very sharp, just like the eyes of an eagle staring at its prey. What are you staring at? You think I'm afraid of you when you stare at me like that. Yuan Jie did not say in a good mood at this time. After saying this, Yuan Jie added at this time, looking at your strength, it seems to be okay, you can be my companion. This matter is so decided. 3. Battle Eagle Eye for collection and recommendation. As for the cooks and Zepp, they looked at Yuan Jie with pity at this time. Because in their opinion, this Yuan is simply dying, and the other party will definitely not let him go if he provokes this big man under the 7 Wuhai Sea. As for the other people, at this time, the intuition is that there is really a good show to watch. Eagle Eye is not only the king of Chihuahai, but also the #1 swordsman recognized by the world, and the opponent's strength is very terrifying. They saw it just now. Even the famous pirate hunter Sauron in this sea area can use a knife with his eagle eye to defeat the opponent, which shows how terrifying the opponent's strength is. As for Zoro at this time, after seeing Hawkeye's look, he only felt that he was instantly plunged into darkness, and his body couldn't move even when he was playing this song. When Luffy saw that Yuan Jie was so daring, he also sighed at this time, this uncle is interesting. Cross eyes. Don't think that you are invincible in the world, let me tell you, my Yuan has a showdown now, and I am not low-key now. If you want to fight, we can fight well, but if you lose, just join my pirate team. Yuan Jie provoked the opponent at this time. You are strong. These 3 words came out of Hawkeye's mouth. Hearing this, other people were greatly shocked. You know, even the famous pirate hunter Zoro is considered very weak by Hawkeye, but the brewer named Yuan in front of him was actually said so by Hawkeye. They were also beaten in the face at this time. Although you are strong, you are not my opponent. I'll fight you. Hawkeye is also very confident. After saying this, the Eagle Eye at this time added, let's change the place. Although Hawkeye is a pirate, he is not as brutal as other pirates. He also knew that if he and the other party really fought, everyone in the restaurant on the sea would suffer. Okay, I promise you. After saying this, Yuan Jie's body jumped at this time, and then came to Zoro's side, and then took a knife from Zoro's hand. Because of Yuan Jie's arrival, Zoro came out of the panic just now. Then, Yuan Jie said to Luffy, Luffy. Next. He threw Zoro's body at Luffy. After doing these things, Yuan Jie left a sentence. If you don't despise this cross-eyed eye, I will test it with you. The reason why this guy is called the #1 swordsman is because those who really know how to use swords have not come out. And I am the one. But it's really like what Yuan Jie said. If Lei used a sword, this Eagle Eye would definitely not be Lei's opponent. Then, Yuan Jie jumped onto Hawkeye's boat. They were going to fight on a nearby deserted island. Seeing that Hawkeye Mahawk, who made him so miserable, actually left, Click felt very unhappy at this time. Hawkeye, didn't you come to catch me? You made my boat look like this, and you want to run away. Yuan Jie is also very disgusted with this guy like Click. Now Hawkeye is letting this guy out, but this guy doesn't know what to do. Therefore, at this time, Yuan Jie was directly cut out. The knife did not touch the opponent's body, but the opponent's head fell directly. Seeing such a scene, other people at this time would be scared. They don't dare to sneer at Yuan Jie anymore at this time, because this guy's strength is just too terrifying. When they looked at Yuan Jie, there was a look of horror on their faces. They were afraid that Yuan Jie would treat them like Nakrik. After all, they just said bad things about each other. There really is a deserted island around here. After arriving on the deserted island, they stood on opposite sides. At this time, the eagle eyes were sharp, and the expression on his face was very serious. On the other hand, Yuan Jie was giggling at this time, looking like a middle-aged greasy uncle. Cross eyes. Don't be so nervous. You can't beat me. Hawkeye obviously couldn't listen to Yuan Jie's words anymore, and the other party directly attacked Yuan Jie. Seeing this, at this time, Yuan-Jie was still chattering endlessly, and he was also dealing with Hawkeye's attack. At this time, Eagle Eye was full of domineering, and as for Yuan-Jie, it was also full of domineering at this time. As for the clouds above the sky, because of the two people's battle, they were constantly stirring. As for the originally calm sea, the waves were rough at this time. After seeing such a scene, those who were in the restaurant on the sea, at this time, one by one, their mouths closed in surprise. The battle was clearly a long way from them. But it still has a big impact on them. Obviously, how terrifying the strength of these two guys is. Hawkeye was greatly surprised at this time, because the other party kept talking endlessly, and he was still at a disadvantage at this time, how terrifying the opponent's strength was. Hawkeye, you are not my opponent. Just be my partner. At this time, Yuan-Jie also changed the name of the cross-eyed before. After all, he will still be a partner in the future. You beat me first. Eagle Eye gave Yuan-Jie such an answer at this time. Yuan-Jie knew that if he only relied on swordsmanship, it would be very difficult for him to win, even though he was at an advantage now. Even if you win against the opponent, you will be hurt a lot. Therefore, watching the two in Yuan-Jie is simply not worth the loss. So at this time, Yuan-Jie also used the ability of Fusion Fruit. Taking advantage of Hawkeye's inattentiveness, Yuan-Jie fused the opponent's sword with his own body. This is what Hawkeye never thought of. The other party is still a fruit-capable person. 4. Multiple devil fruit abilities. Please collect, please recommend. You turned out to be a devil fruit person. Yeah, what's the matter? Am I going to tell you this too? Yuan-Jie said in a nonchalant manner. Hawkeye felt extremely aggrieved at this time. He is the #1 swordsman in the dignified world. Now that he has no swords, he can fight the opponent with what he can do. If the opponent's strength is not as good as his own, then his sword will not have any effect even if his sword is gone. But the opponent's strength is completely above his own. At this time, he had to take out the small sword hanging on his chest that dealt with Sauron before. However, the opponent's sword is really too small. It's okay to deal with Zoro, but it's not very effective against people like Yuan-Jie. He was also scarred by Yuan-Jie. Do you think you can beat me like this? You just admit defeat. At this time, Hawkeye did not admit defeat, he was still fighting with Yuan-Jie. The little sword with the eagle eye at the end was taken away by Yuan-Jie. At this time, Hawkeye had to fight melee'ly. Yuan-Jie also did not use the sword again. He also immediately switched to a devil fruit at this time, and then imprisoned Hawkeye. If you use the sword to attack the opponent again, then you will have to find someone to heal this guy, and it will be yourself who will be in trouble. Hawkeye didn't have any curiosity about the other party, because in Hawkeye's view, the other party was a devil fruit-capable person, which was estimated to be the other party's ability. At this time, Hawkeye is of course unwilling to lose to the opponent like this. It has only been a long time, and he has promised the opponent that if he loses, he will be the opponent's partner. Therefore, the Eagle Eye at this time can only rely on the powerful domineering to open the bondage of Yuan-Jie. Yuan-Jie's domineering power is stronger than Hawkeye's, so at this time Hawkeye can't break free even if he spends his milk-feeding strength. Who the hell are you? Eagle Eye knew that he was really defeated, and he looked at Yuan-Jie very sharply at this time and asked. The guy in front of him is very powerful, and the opponent and himself are not at the same level of combat at all. His Hawkeye's combat power is very strong, and it was the first time he was so deflated, which made him very doubtful in his heart. With such a formidable combat power, this is at least the level of the 4 emperors, and it is also the most powerful level like Whitebeard. But his Eagle Eye had absolutely no impression of the person in front of him. Obviously, the other party is a master that he has never heard of. My name is Yuan-Jie. Hearing this, Hawkeye at this time was very speechless. Because he wanted to know the identity of the other party, and now the other party gave him such an answer. But that doesn't seem to be a problem. What did you do before? Hawkeye continued to ask at this time. I used to be a pirate. When Hawkeye heard such news, Hawkeye was also a little stunned. When the other party is a pirate. Such a pirate himself has never heard of it. What is this situation? Could it be that the information from the Navy is not accurate enough? Because in Hawkeye's view, the opponent's strength is so powerful, the opponent should be very famous, but he really didn't know that there was a big pirate named Yuanj. What's your bounty? Hawkeye continued to ask at this time. My bounty is 0, but soon my bounty will be several hundred million. Yuanj replied at this time. Hearing this, Hawkeye really didn't know what to say at this time. This is also the first time he has said so much. Although the battle was very loud, the battle was not tragic. Others, at this time, it was a lot of discussion. So it's definitely a big fight, and it's hard to see such a fight. Who do you say will win this game? I think it's that Eagle Eye. That brewer named Yuanj is very powerful, but I've never heard his name. Although the other party slashed Click with a knife. After all, Eagle Eye is the king of the 7 Martial Seas. I think that winemaker is not weak. Whoever loses and who wins is not necessarily. Yeah, since that guy provokes Hawkeye, that guy must have the strength to defeat Hawkeye. At this time, everyone is talking about the situation. Of course, most people think that Hawkeye is powerful. They saw the strength of Hawkeye just now. Even the pirate hunter Zoro, he can play with a knife, showing how terrifying the opponent's strength is. Moreover, this guy is the king's Chihuahua, and his name is already out there. Of course, the winemaker of the sea restaurant is also very powerful, otherwise, the other party will kill Kellic with the highest bounty in the East China Sea. As for the people in the restaurant on the sea, there was a look of worry on their faces at this time. Especially Zap. Because they are guys who have been to the new route, but they know the strength of Eagle Eye better than these melon eaters. As for Yuanj, this guy is just a winemaker in his restaurant. These cooks don't understand either. Yuanj is very stable when he does things in the usual way, how could it be like this now? If this guy wants to challenge Hawkeye, he will challenge Hawkeye directly, why bother to challenge Hawkeye? This guy is definitely dead. Jep couldn't help but sighed at this time. It's a pity that the guy brewed it for a long time and can't drink it anymore. Because Luffy and his ship were taken away by Nami, at this time, they didn't have a ship at all. When they saw this terrifying battle, they also wanted to take a look. How strong is this to be able to exert such power? It is not easy for them to sneak a boat from this sea restaurant and prepare to go there to watch the battle. They were originally going to Zep, but Zep was determined not to lend them the boat. Because Zep knew the destructive power of that battle. If these guys go, if they are affected by the battle, they will be disabled even if they don't die. It is precisely because of this that they will go secretly at this time. Of course, Zep also discovered those people, and when he saw those people go to the battle, he was also very helpless. Why don't these guys listen? But soon, the fighting stopped. 5. Simple and rude, for collection, recommendation. At this time, these people were dumbfounded. What is this situation? Is the battle over? Soon, a small boat appeared on the sea. That's Hawkeye's boat. It's really over. Looks like the winemaker lost. I'll just say that the winemaker lost. These guys saw that it was Hawkeye's boat, so at this time, they thought Hawkeye had won. Luffy and these guys saw them not long after they were driving. Hi, Uncle, who the hell did you win? At this time, Luffy saw Hawkeye and Yuanj, so he asked curiously. Yuanj didn't answer the other party's question, because it didn't matter whether he won or lost, and Hawkeye was already his crew at this time. Soon, they came to this sea restaurant. When these two people came back, these people who were talking about each other at the time were quiet and chatting. Because these two people are too terrifying, they are simply existences they dare not provoke. In particular, most of them have ridiculed Yuanj for being over the top. However, Seeing that Na Click was directly chopped off by a knife, these people shuddered when they thought about it. Although this Kellic died, it was a life after all. When they saw the appearance of these two people at this time, these people also understood. That uncle, who exactly won? Did you win? Luffy can't wait to know this answer at this time. Luffy was not at all afraid of the two guys in front of him. At this time, Yuan Jie looked at this guy endlessly, and finally said helplessly, "The two of us should be considered a draw." A draw? No. I lost. Hawkeye is not the kind of guy who loves vanity, he has the dignity of a jacket as a swordsman. Yuanj, since I lost, I am willing to be your crew member. At this time, Eagle Eye said to Yuan Jie. Hearing this, all the people present at this time were greatly shocked. Because he didn't expect this to happen. If these two people formed a pirate group together, how terrifying it would be. Just thinking about it is terrifying. At this time, Luffy asked curiously, "Uncle, are you also going to be a pirate?" "Yes." "Haha, Uncle, I will be your opponent in the future, but I am the man who wants to become the Pirate King." At this time, Luffy was very confident. For Luffy to say such words, the other people were very surprised at this time. But thinking of the opponent's strength, his face showed contempt. As for Yuan Jie, he did not express his opinion at this time. "Yuanj, where's our ship?" Hawkeye asked curiously at this time. "We don't have a boat yet, let's go with these guys, and then we'll get a boat," Yuan Jie said to Hawkeye at this time. Hawkeye heard this and didn't say anything. He was also used to driving his boat on the sea. Therefore, he doesn't care much about these. Hearing this, Sauron really didn't know what to say at this time. He also did not expect that there is still a guy who messed with Luffy. Luffy naturally heard Yuanj's words, and he was very happy. "Uncle, do you want to come with me too? Don't you welcome me?" Yuan Jie asked back at this time. "Welcome, very welcome. Then let's go." At this time, Yuan Jie felt that time was still very urgent, so don't waste time. "That uncle, we still have one less cook on our ship, and I must make Sanji our partner." At this time, Luffy said to Yuan Jie. "Then call him together." He doesn't seem to agree. "This is easy to do." This time, pat on the chest. Then he said to Zap, "Zap, we'll take this guy, you have no opinion." After saying this, Yuan Jie at this time didn't care that Zapu and Sanji agreed at the same time. Then he put Sanji on the boat like he was carrying a chicken. Seeing such a scene, the people present at this time did not know what to say. Because it is so powerful. "What are you still doing?" Yuan Jie looked at those people, and said angrily. Seeing this, Zoro patted his head at this time and said speechlessly, "What the hell is this guy?" Then, they all got on the boat. "Uncle, one of our buddies drove our ship away. We're going to get him back," Luffy said to Yuan Jie at this time. "You only have one direction. It's over there." Luffy, like Zoro and Yuanj, can't tell the direction. At this time, it was Soren's brother Joseph who was guiding the way. "Let go of me, I'm going back." At this time, Sanji disagreed very much. Seeing this, Yuan Jie used his arrogance to knock this guy unconscious. Then, at this time, Yuan Jie directly used the ability of Junjun Fruit. Then, their ship's speed was quite fast under the shaking fruit, like a rocket. Seeing such a scene, other people are also amazed at this time. "Uncle, how did you do this?" Luffy asked curiously at this time. "I used the power of a devil fruit." Uncle didn't expect that you were also a devil fruit person. Luffy was also very surprised at this time. Then, they had a chat. But after a few chats, they arrived at the paradise of the evil dragon pirates. They were approaching the shore, but Yuan Jie still did not slow down at this time. Seeing such a scene, Usopp was quite frightened. "Stop now." Usopp was crying and screaming there at this time. He could predict what would happen to them if the ship didn't stop. Of course, other people's faces are naturally not good-looking. Except for Hokage. Hokage felt that this guy must have a way, otherwise, the other party would not dare to do so. Just when these people felt that they were going to die, the boat suddenly flew up. When seeing such a scene, Usopp at this time was relieved. But soon Usopp screamed again in fright. Because this ship will definitely fall down. At that time, these people will not be much better. But after a long time, the ship still did not fall. Seeing this, the other people at this time were extremely shocked. 6. Junjun Fruit plus Fluttering Fruit, Seeking Collection Recommendation. What's the situation? Why is our ship flying? Usopp asked very curiously at this time. This is the power of my devil fruit. Hearing this, the other people finally breathed a sigh of relief at this time. At this time, Yuanj had switched his devil fruit to fluffy fruit. Therefore, only at this time can their ship fly in the sky. However, after Usopp stopped, the two brothers of Sauron cried out. This is the place of Eren of the evil dragon pirates. That is a very famous pirate in the East China Sea. Yeah, that guy seems to be the subordinate of King Chiwuhai Jinping. What is that under the King's 7 Wuhai? Luffy asked curiously at this time. King Sha Chiwuhai is a special power and qualification given to 7 pirates by the world government. Although they are pirates, they have all been recognized by the world government. The King's 7 Wuhai are Jinping, Sha Crocodile, Jorakor Mahawk. When they said this, at this time, they suddenly remembered that Jorakor Mahawk was right next to them. You are that Joe Raquel Mahawk. At this time, these two guys seemed to have discovered a new continent, and they were very surprised. It was only when I saw these two guys that I reacted. The other people at this time didn't know what to say. Because how bad is this response? Yuan-Jay found a place and dropped their boat. Before falling, Luffy found Nami below. After seeing Nami, Luffy at this time also waved to the other side and shouted, Nami. I'm here. When Nami heard the voice, she looked around curiously. However, Luffy was not found, which made Nami very puzzled. Am I hallucinating? Nami, looks like someone's calling you. At this time, Eren said to Nami. Hearing this, Nami at this time felt that she was not hallucinating. But thinking about Luffy's arrival, Nami felt a little restless at this time. Because from Nami's point of view, Luffy and the others would not be the opponents of this evil dragon at all. Even if these guys came, they came to die. Nami, don't worry, I'm here to save you. After saying this, Luffy jumped directly from the boat. When she saw Luffy falling from the sky at this time, Nami at this time was very surprised. I know, this guy kidnapped you. I will definitely defeat this guy and save you. Luffy waved his fist at this time and said. Luffy, I wasn't kidnapped by the other party. I volunteered to join the Evil Dragon Pirates, and I was originally a member of the Evil Dragon Pirates. You stinky pirates were just deceived by me. Nami said to Luffy mercilessly at this time. Of course, when Luffy heard this, he couldn't believe it. Although they didn't spend a lot of time together, they fought against Bucky the Clown and the Black Cat Pirates together. Impossible. This guy must have forced you to do this. I'll teach this guy a good lesson. After that, Luffy at this time directly attacked Eren. For Luffy in front of him, Eren didn't take it seriously. As long as you want to beat me, it's just a dream. Then the two guys scuffled together. Of course, Luffy is not this Eren's opponent. He was beaten all over by the opponent. After seeing such a scene, Yuan-Jay also dropped their boat at this time. Seeing this, Usopp and Sauron also walked up at this time. That Eren, you still surrender to the Navy, and I'll let you go. Yuan-Jay said to Eren at this time. Yuan-Jay knew about Eren's ugly behavior, and he was also very disgusted with it. Haha, you told me to turn myself in. I heard right, it's just a daydream. Aaron and his subordinates were laughing at this time, because the guy in front of him actually told him to turn himself in. Simply a joke. Moreover, he has cooperation with the Navy, and the Navy will not capture him so easily. As for Yuan Ji's words, these guys didn't see it at all, and the person in front of them intuitively had a problem with his mind. You despicable races, you dare to provoke our noble races, I will not show mercy to your despicable races. Aaron hates human beings very much, and he feels that the mermaid is superior. Really? Believe it or not, I'll make you a barbecue later. Yuan Ji threatened at this time. Aaron was very annoyed by Yuan Ji's threat. Hawkeye was very speechless, and this guy's words were too strange. If you want to die so badly, then I will fulfill you. After speaking, Aaron at this time launched an attack on Yuan Ji's side. At this time, Yuan Ji directly used the ability of Junjun Fruit, and then made the other party unable to get close to him at all. Aaron did everything he could, but he couldn't attack Yuan Ji. This made Aaron feel no more depressed. When Aaron launched an attack on himself, he directly used the shock fruit to bounce the opponent away. Seeing this, Aaron did not attack Yuan Ji. Seeing that Aaron did not attack himself, Yuan Ji at this time attacked the opponent. Yuan Ji's devil fruit was also switched from Junjun fruit to fluttering fruit. Then, Yuan Ji directly let Aaron's body not take control of the ticket directly. Then it spun what Aaron told in the air. It feels like juggling. Yuan Ji's story told Xuanyuan that Aaron was the 7 meat and 8 elements of Xuan, and he couldn't tell the difference between east, west, north and south. After knocking Aaron out, Yuan Ji put him down. 7. Adoration from Nami. Seeing such a scene, the subordinates of Nami and Aaron at this time couldn't believe it at this time. Because Aaron is so defeated. Nami was not optimistic about these guys before, because he knew Aaron's strength very well. Seeing this, Aaron's subordinates wanted to escape. Because the strength of the guy in front of him is definitely not ordinary. Yuan Ji punched the ground directly at this time. Then he said to these guys, if you want to run, this is what happens later. Yuan Ji's punch directly smashed a huge pit on the ground. Seeing the opponent's terrifying strength, at this time, those people had no idea of escaping at all. Wake up this guy, then let this guy call the Navy and count his own crimes. You can now prepare a piece of paper and write down all the crimes you have done over the years. Yuan Ji said unceremoniously at this time. Hearing this, these people are very hard. Because they are pirates, the person in front of him actually asked him to do such a thing. It's so embarrassing. But the opponent's punch was so terrifying that they had to write it. After these people finished writing, that Aaron also woke up. Aaron, give the Navy a call. State your own crimes. Yuan Ji said to Aaron at this time. I'm a pirate, so I wouldn't dare to humiliate like that. Aaron clearly still has the backbone. See each other like this. Yuan Ji attacked Aaron again. After a while. I'll fight. You'd better let me go. Aaron almost doubted his life at this time, because he had never been tortured like this before. Sooner or later, I will be killed, and now I might as well be caught by the Navy. Then he called the Navy. Colonel Mouse, I was wrong, I decided to change my mind, you arrest me. At this time, Colonel Mouse was stunned. You are. I'm Aaron. Finally, Colonel Mouse came over, because Colonel Mouse was going to come to Aaron. Therefore, he came very quickly. Ha ha, when did you become such a coward, Aaron? The Mouse Colonel sneered. Colonel Mouse, you must save me, we are now in a cooperative relationship. Aaron said to Colonel Mouse at this time. Hearing this, Colonel Mouse was very proud, because he had never seen Aaron like this before. This made the Colonel Mouse very proud. For the sake of our cooperation, I will help you. Who brought you down like this? Aaron pointed to Yuan Ji at this time. After seeing these people, the Mouse Colonel didn't take them seriously. Just these people. Yuan-Jie was still not used to the appearance of Colonel Mouse. You'd better join these people and write a confession yourself. Otherwise, you will have a hard time. Ha ha. Confession. I'm a Navy. Even if it's a crime, it's not your turn to tell me. After saying this mouse Navy began to have the same experience as Aaron. This guy was obviously more spineless than Aaron, and immediately begged Yuan-Jie for mercy. I write. Although this guy promised Yuan-Jie like this on the surface, he was thinking in his heart that he was a Navy and would definitely not end up like a pirate. Moreover, if I report to my superiors will definitely send a powerful person to save me, and I want these people to look good at that time. The other party is now torturing him like this, and then he will let these guys pay back double. Then, Yuan-Jie asked this guy to call the Navy. The Mouse Colonel was very quick to call the Admiralty. When the naval headquarters heard the news, it was dumbfounded because of what happened to Nima. In the end, according to the request of this rat, the Admiralty dispatched the Navy in the nearest sea area, White Hunter Smog. When these people saw such a scene, they were simply dumbfounded. Especially Nami, the look in her eyes at this time is full of admiration. You know, from a very young age, their place was oppressed by Aaron. Now Yuan-Jie has dealt with Aaron casually. In Nami's view, Yuan-Jie is simply the hero in his mind. As for the back, these people are waiting for these people to come. As for Usopp and Luffy, they are introducing Yuan-Jie at this time. When she heard Yuan-Jie's previous deeds in the restaurant on the sea, Nami was extremely surprised. She didn't expect the uncle in front of her to have such terrifying strength. Nami even regretted a little, she should have left the sea restaurant later. In that case, she could see the battle between this uncle and that king, Chiwahai. As for the villagers in Kokoja village, after hearing that Aaron had been defeated, they were extremely excited, and they were extremely grateful to Yuan-Jie, the hero who defeated Aaron. Then, these people waited for the arrival of those navies in this place. These scumbags are naturally handed over to the Navy. However, after waiting for a while, those navies did not arrive. At this time, Yuan-Jie asked the Colonel Mouse to call the headquarters again. Later, Yuan-Jie learned that it was Smog, the White Hunter, who caught these people this time. Later, Yuan-Jie and the others set off directly towards Rog Town. As for Sanji, when he saw Nami, this guy was very pleased with Nami. At this time, he didn't shout to leave, but followed them. Yuan-Jie naturally followed them at this time. Fangjung himself just went to collect devil fruits. The most important thing is that Yuan-Jie and the others did not have a decent ship at this time. Yuan-Jie didn't want to wait any longer, and then they went straight to Rog Town. The speed of their driving was very fast, because Yuan-Jie used the power of Junjun fruit. That uncle, you'd better slow down, this will do great damage to our ship. Nami reminded at this time. Hearing this, Yuan-Jie at this time heard this, and he just let the ship fly. His shaking fruit and fluttering fruit are constantly switching, which makes the ship travel very fast in the sky. After seeing such a scene, the guys who were caught by them were dumbfounded. This guy is too powerful. The speed of these people is like flying a plane, which is very fast. Soon, they met the naval fleets led by Smog, and these fleets were estimated to be heading towards the village of Kokoja. 8. Smog beheaded Colonel Mouse in front of him. Recommendation, collection. Seeing this, Yuan-Jie at this time directly dropped the boat. The Navy was very surprised, because this ship actually fell from the sky, which is a bit incredible. Soon, these navies discovered that it was a pirate ship. These navies were also alerted immediately. At this time, Smog also ordered his subordinates to shoot here. Seeing this, Yuan-Jie at this time directly used the ability of another fruit of water to directly build a barrier made of seawater on the sea. After seeing such a scene, the Eagle Eye at this time was also very surprised. The other party's ability is too much. It can be merged, can fly back and deliberately make the vibration speed up the ship. Now it is even possible to build a seawater constitute a barrier. There are too many patterns. After seeing such a scene, Smaug also knew that even if he bombarded the other party again, there would be no result. So it also stopped. Seeing that the other side had stopped fighting, Yuan-Jie also dissipated that layer of water curtain at this time. Are you a devil fruit person? Looking at each other across the sea, Smoker asked with a cigarette in his mouth. Does it even need to be said? Yuan-Jie said in a nonchalant manner. After saying this, Yuan-Jie added, you guys should be here to catch these guys. Then, Yuan-Jie froze those people out. Smaug was very angry when he saw that Yuan-Jie and his group had captured the navy. Because this is a blatant provocation of their navy. You pirates dare to capture Colonel Mouse. Are you trying to provoke our navy? Smoker said unceremoniously, with a look of displeasure on his face. Look at these first. Yuan-Jie flew the confession letter from Colonel Mouse. After taking the piece of paper, Smoker looked up. After seeing this, Smaug at this time couldn't help frowning. Colonel Mouse, what's the situation? Smoker asked Colonel Mouse at this time. Smaug, forcing me to do this, don't trust these guys. Hearing this, Smaug said to Yuan-Jie at this time, I don't believe you pirates, you should let the Mouse Colonel go. I can attest to that. Hokage stood up at this time. Hokage. Why are you on these people's boats? Don't ask me why I'm on this ship, but I can testify to that. Hearing this, the Mouse Colonel's eyes were about to fall out at this time. Because he didn't expect that this guy turned out to be the eagle eye of one of the famous Chihuahai under the king. Even if Hokage appeared, Smaug still didn't believe it at this time, because in this guy's opinion, the so-called Chihuahai under the king was just a pirate recognized by the world government. Hokage, you'd better persuade these people to let go of the mice, otherwise, I will definitely tell the Admiralty about this. Hearing this, Yuan-Jie didn't have the patience to make the other party believe anything. Who does this guy think he is? He was just a little too low-key before, but this guy didn't take him seriously. At this moment, Yuan-Jie directly pulled out a knife from Zoro's waist, and then chopped off Colonel Mouse's neck with one knife. This surprised everyone present, because they did not expect such a thing to happen. Since such a tumor, your navy will not solve it, I will clear the door for you. Yuan-Jie said to Smaug at this time. After seeing this, Smaug was furious, because these pirates actually killed their admiral in front of him. You pirates, don't even look at what you are like, you have the face to talk about other people. Smoker angrily rebuked at this time. Then there is the order to bombard these guys. Yuan-Jie did not use water to block the opponent's attack at this time. At this time, Yuan-Jie flew directly towards the ship where Smaug was. Those shells were chopped down directly by Smoker. Soon, Yuan-Jie came to Smoker's boat. When Yuan-Jie came to Smaug's boat, Smaug immediately launched an attack on Yuan-Jie. The current Smaug is no match for Yuan-Jie at all. Yuan-Jie directly released a strong domineering arrogance, and the navy simply passed out. As for Smaug, at this time, he was constantly insisting on clenching his teeth. At this time, Smaug's face showed disbelief, because he did not expect the opponent's strength to be so terrifying, and the opponent's domineering is so powerful. Smaug still has a certain understanding of domineering. After all, this guy's teacher is Zephyr. Who the hell are you? Smokey asked in a trembling voice at this time. A man you can't mess with. Then, Yuan-Jie directly knocked Smaug out. After knocking these guys out, Yuan-Jie didn't kill them. He dealt with Smoker mainly because he wanted to get the smoke fruit from Smoker. He wants to collect all the devil fruits. Uncle, you are amazing. Can you teach me that trick? Luffy has an incomparable admiration for Yuan-Jie. As for the others, I don't know what to say about Yuan-Jie's terrifying strength. Because Yuan-Jie was the one who saved Nami's village, if it weren't for Yuan-Jie, those people in their village would definitely be oppressed by the evil dragon pirates. Being able to defeat those guys is all thanks to Yuanj. Nami's admiration for Yuanj is growing. It's about giving Yuanj a monkey. When Smog woke up, he was still in shock, because the opponent's strength was too terrifying. Who the hell is this guy? Soon, Smoker made a call to Admiralty. Headquarters. I'm Smog. I didn't complete the task assigned above, and Colonel Mouse was killed by the opponent. The other party is a very powerful pirate. I am not the opponent's opponent at all, and the Eagle Eye, who is the king of the Chihuahua, is also on their ship. That guy also has a very powerful overlord. This is definitely a great pirate. Please ask the headquarters to issue a wanted order. It was Aokiji who answered the call. When he heard Smoker's call, he couldn't help frowning. Because he didn't expect that this one pirate group actually has the Eagle Eye of the king under the Chihuahua. Although the opponent does not have a devil fruit, the opponent's strength is not under his own at all. It seems that the other party is a very powerful guy. I'm going to meet this guy for a while. Aokiji said reluctantly at this time, because he was already a severe lazy cancer patient. He really didn't want to get involved in such a thing, but he was also very helpless. After obtaining the devil fruit, Yuanjie then galloped all the way. Originally it would take several hours, but for Yuanj, it only takes a few tens of minutes. 9. Bucky Who Loves Face, Seeking Collection Recommendation. They came to this town of Rogue. When Yuanjie came to Rogue Town, a faint sadness appeared in his heart. Because he is also a crew member on Roger's ship, Roger is like a master to him and a relative. These powerful domineering of his are handed over by them. 20 years ago, Yuanjie also watched One Piece Roger's execution here. Yuanjie was walking on the street, and soon Yuanjie heard a familiar voice. Bucky. It was only then that Yuanjie thought that Bucky happened to be in this place right now. Bucky. Who is calling me? Bucky also heard someone call his name, so I asked curiously at this time. Soon, Bucky saw a familiar figure. Yuanj. Haha, Yuanjie didn't expect you to come to this place, it's really been a long time. After seeing Yuanj, Bucky was also very happy at this time. Bucky hates red hair the most, but in his opinion, his relationship with Yuanjie is still very good. Of course, Bucky hasn't mocked Yuanjie before, because since Yuanjie joined him, he's not the weakest one on the boat. Yuanj, you are alone now, why don't you join my Bucky Pirates? Although your strength is not very good, the wine you brew is very delicious. At this time, Bucky extended an olive branch to Yuanj. I understand your kindness, Bucky, and I'm going to get a pirate group of my own, and it's still the strongest one. Yuanjie said to Bucky at this time. Hearing this, Bucky laughed at this time. Yuanj. With your strength, you still want to create your own pirate group, I think you should forget it. You can just join my pirate group. My pirate group is very famous in this East China Sea. Bucky also showed off to one song. By the way, you're not trying to get a pirate group of your own, how many members does your pirate group have now? Bucky was very curious about Yuanj, because this guy even wanted to make a pirate group of his own, which was a bit funny. Only one person has joined at the moment. Yuanjie said to Bucky at this time. Haha, you alone, which guy is actually joining your pirate group? Joliquel Mahawk. Why is this name so familiar? Bucky asked suspiciously. I must be remembering wrong. For a weak guy like Yuanjie, in Bucky's opinion, the crew he recruited should be even weaker. Bucky, I seem to have heard of this name too. Alrita said at this time. That's right, he's Hawkeye. Yuanj told Bucky the truth at this time. Hawkeye. Could it be the Eagle Eye of the King's Chihuahua? Bucky's men asked curiously. Haha, it must be the name of your crew member and the person who went to the 7 Martial Seas. With strength like you, how could a guy like that be a crew member for you? At this time, Bucky is definitely not the Eagle Eye of the King's Chihuahua, because in his opinion, Yuanj is so weak, how could he invite such a guy? For Bucky, Yuan didn't argue anything. Yuan also knew that this guy used to ridicule him a lot, but he was used to being low-key, so he didn't quarrel with the other party. Uncle, didn't expect you to come to this place too. At this time, Luffy also came to this place. When Luffy saw Yuan, he also said hello to Yuan. After seeing Luffy, Bucky was not calm. Because if this guy hadn't knocked him out, he wouldn't have suffered so much. He still remembers this hatred. Straw Hat Boy, didn't expect to meet you here. Who are you? Hearing this, Bucky was about to jump up at this time, because the guy in front of him who beat him so badly doesn't even know him now. I'm Bucky, you know it now. It's that red-nosed Bucky that I beat up. Luffy only reacted at this time. I didn't get beat up by you. Bucky retorted at this time. At this time, Yuan is here. If he knew that he was made like this by the Straw Hat Boy, he would probably die of laughter by Yuan. Therefore, at this time, Bucky thought that he could not lose face in front of Yuan. I clearly remember that you were beaten up by me. Bucky was very angry when he heard this, because this guy was still struggling with this. Yuan, don't be afraid. I, Bucky, will protect you. The other party is just a little pirate, and I, Bucky, can solve the other party with a touch of a finger. Bucky was blowing cowhide in front of Yuan at this time. Yuan knew about these things for a long time, but at this time he didn't break them. Uncle, you know this red nose? Yes, we were on a boat. Then you know Shanks too? Luffy asked excitedly. That's right, I do know Shanks. We used to be on the same boat. Yuan replied at this time. I also know Shanks. He gave me this hat. I promised Shanks that I must become the Pirate King. Luffy said excitedly at this time. What? You and Shanks used to be on the same boat? Hawkeye also came over at this time. He didn't expect that Yuan and Shanks were on the same boat before. Hawkeye also knows a little bit about Shanks. After all, they have a very good relationship. You are also on the One Piece ship. That's right, I'm on the One Piece ship. The two of them are trainees on the One Piece ship. I used to be the winemaker on the One Piece ship. At this time, Yuan knew that his identity could no longer be hidden, and he didn't want to hide anything at this time. No wonder you are so powerful. Hawkeye couldn't help sighing at this time. The people on the One Piece ship are all very powerful, even Shanks, who is an intern, is one of the 4 emperors. Of course, the clown Bucky in front of him was an accident on the One Piece ship. He was the weakest one on the One Piece ship. However, this guy has no self-knowledge yet. He feels that he is the second weakest guy on the One Piece ship, and the weakest should be Yuan. Captain Bucky, I didn't expect you to hide so much that you've been on Roger's ship before. 10. The torn-apart fruit that came up for flowers. For collection. Bucky should basically be happy for other people's praise, but at this time, Bucky couldn't be happy at all. He knew the guy with the hat standing in front of him. This guy was the eagle eye of the King's Chihuahua. If there is no strength, the other party will definitely not be able to serve as the King's Chihuahua. Are you Hawkeye? Bucky asked timidly at this time. That's right, this is the one I mentioned to you just now. Yuan interjected at this time. Hearing this, Buckina was very puzzled at this time. But soon, he thought of something. Is he your crew? Bucky asked in disbelief at this point. Didn't I tell you? This is impossible. The other party is the king of the 7 Martial Seas. How can he be willing to be your crew member, and your strength is weaker than me? If he wants to choose the captain,